Let us be our brother's keeper. We must never surrender to fear, despair, or hopelessness. This is not the time for division, not by tribe, not by religion, not by region, not by political party. Because terror recognizes no ethnicity, no faith, and no ideology. Its enemy is all of us. And together, united as one people, we can defeat it. For our children, for our communities, for our future, for Nigeria. Join the movement. Stand for our country. Stand for one another. Hashtag Unite Against Terror.
ADBN, a part of you.
Good morning and welcome to ADBN News at 7. My name is Xavier Robert. First in the news, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has assured voters of its readiness to conduct a free, fair and credible election in Ekiti State. The resident electoral commissioner Bumi Omoseyindemi urged eligible voters to come out and participate, saying the commission remains committed to transparency and impartiality. He said logistical challenges had been resolved with adequate arrangements made for the timely deployment of personnel and election materials across the state. Omoseyindemi added that the INEC result viewing portal would be deployed to allow real-time upload and public access to polling unit results. In the meantime, residents of Ekiti State have expressed their readiness to participate in today's governorship election, voicing hopes for a peaceful, transparent and credible process. With campaigns officially concluded, voters say they are eager to elect a leader who will address key challenges and consolidate the state's development efforts. Let's now join ADBN's Favos Zura, who is already in Ekiti State for the election. Well, we'll probably do that later, but in the meantime, the Rivers State Police Command has announced a restriction of human and vehicular movement across 7 local government areas ahead of today's Rivers Southeast Senatorial District by-election. In a statement on Friday by the Police Public Relations Officer ASP Blessing Agabe, the command warned that anyone found violating the restriction order or engaging in activities capable of disrupting the electoral process, including vote buying, vote intimidation, thuggery, or any other form of electoral violence, will face the full weight of the law. The by-election to be conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission is to fill the vacant senatorial seat following death by Mpigi in February. Still on elections, the Kano State Police Command has imposed a temporary restriction of movement in Dawakin Kudu local government area and Warawa local government area ahead of Saturday's House of Representatives by-election. The restriction, which will be in effect from 12 noon through 5 p.m. on June 20, was announced in a statement issued on Friday by the Police Public Relations Officer, CSP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Adamu Bakori. According to the statement, only security personnel on essential duties, officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, accredited election observers and duly identified journalists would be exempt from the restriction. Also, the Bauchi State Independent Electoral Commission, BASIAC, has issued a 60-day notice for the conduct of the state's local government elections scheduled for August 17, 2026. In a statement, Commission Secretary Nuru Abdul Hamid said the notice complies with the provisions of the Bauchi State Electoral Law, which requires the Commission to notify political party stakeholders and the public ahead of the polls. He added that the Commission had earlier issued a 360-day notice in August 2025 to give political parties and other stakeholders adequate time to prepare for the elections. The political landscape in the Akwa Ibom State has witnessed a strategic alignment as the Tinubu torchbearers TTB and the Renewed Hope ambassadors agreed to harmonize their grassroots mobilization efforts. During a courtesy visit to the Renewed Hope ambassadors' secretariat in Uyo, both groups agreed on a unified framework to promote the policies of President Bola Tinubu and Governor Moino across all 31 local government areas of the state. Leading the delegation, the state women leader and director general of the TTB, Obangawan Obonodo Uko, said the movement is driven by a shared vision of party progress, expressing appreciation for the partnership with the Akwa Ibom State coordinator of the Renewed Hope ambassadors, Obong Prince Ikem.
We have come together not as strangers, not even as separate organizations, but as members of one political family, united by a common vision, the progress, the success of Renewed Hope agenda, and the continued development of Nigeria. Our presence here today demonstrates a simple truth. When good people work together, good things happen. When vision meets commitment, progress follows.
The State Coordinator Mrs. Iyana Bassi said the movement inaugurated by the First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu on June 3 was created to strengthen party structures and enhance women's participation in politics.
Our aim here is to mobilize a strong statewide grassroots movement that supports President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Governor Mo-Bassi Eno's administration, promote its policies and achievements, and mobilizes voters ahead of 2027 general elections. Therefore, our objectives is to mobilize grassroots support and promote awareness of Renewed Hope agenda.
In his remarks, the host and board chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Environmental Protection and Waste Management Agency, Obong Prince Ikem, urged members to operate under the principle of one party, one message, and one mobilization framework. He noted that the collaboration is aimed at building strong support for President Bola Tinubu, Governor Moino, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, and other party flag bearers.
Today is on the path of transformation under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Bold and strategic reforms are being implemented to stabilize the economy, strengthen institutions, create opportunities for citizens, and lay the foundation for a long-term prosperity. While every reform process comes with challenges, the Renewed Hope agenda remains a clear roadmap for rebuilding confidence, promoting inclusive growth, and securing a better future for all Nigerians.
The meeting, attended by local government coordinators of both groups, ended with a presentation of a strategic mobilization document by Obong Prince Ikem to the TTB leadership to guide their operations across the state. The Akwa Ibom State government says it will integrate more than 2,200 village youth presidents into its security architecture to strengthen grassroots intelligence gathering across the state. Governor Moina announced the initiative on arrival at the Victor Otta International Airport to Uyo, saying the move is aimed at enhancing proactive security management ahead of the anticipated introduction of state police. Government House correspondent Mary Onyemechi tells us more now.
Speaking after returning from the Nigeria Governors Forum meeting in Abuja, Governor Moina disclosed plans to train village youth presidents across the state. The program, to be facilitated by the Nigerian Police Force and the Department of State Services, will focus on intelligence gathering and community surveillance. The governor said the youth leaders will serve as community focal persons, maintaining records of residents, monitoring movements within their localities, and reporting suspicious activities to relevant security agencies.
A situation where we have village youth presidents and a village primary school is vandalized, roof removed, windows removed, and we have village youth presidents. No, it's going to be a thing of the past. You must be responsible for your village. Government now hires you. You need to know the number of people in your village. Who are the visitors in your village? These things don't happen overnight. Security overrun doesn't happen overnight. So the village youth presidents are now going to serve as intelligence officers responsible to government in their various villages.
Governor Reno noted that the initiative is not only designed to strengthen security, but also to create employment opportunities and build human capacity. He said the trained youth presidents will be formally engaged to support security operations at the grassroots level.
And of course, we are creating jobs. So you can be sure that over 2,200 youth presidents will be engaged. They will be properly trained. And then that's another job creation, building human capacity.
Mary Onyemechi, ADBN News.
The Akwa Ibom State Office of the Public Defender Bill aims to institutionalize legal assistance for indigent and vulnerable persons, promoting fairness, equality before the law, and the protection of fundamental rights. Chairman of the House Committee on Judiciary, Justice and Human Rights, Honorable Anefi Ogata, stated this during a public hearing on Friday, noting that the proposed legislation will ensure that justice remains accessible to all citizens. ADBN correspondent David Isang files in this report.
The House Committee on Industry, Commerce and Tourism.
Presenting their bills, other lawmakers outlined legislative implications of the proposed Akwa Ibom State Hotels and Tourism Development Commission law, as well as the State Water User Association Regulation Bill.
The proposed legislation is particularly significant as it seeks to institutionalize legal assistance for indigent and vulnerable persons, thereby promoting fairness, equality before the law, and effective protection of fundamental rights.
Unlocking these opportunities, it requires a robust institutional and legal framework capable of driving sustainable growth and development with the sector.
Consequently, there is a compelling need to establish a legal framework that will promote community participation in the management, maintenance, protection, and equitable utilization of water resources.
Speaking on the objectives of the bills, Commissioner for Culture and Tourism said the proposed Hotels and Tourism Commission will regulate the hospitality sector, while Honorable Ubo Ubo spoke on the Water User Association's bill.
The administration of justice is founded on the principle that every person, irrespective of social status or economic circumstance, should have access to legal protection and effective remedies under the law.
But the Hotels and Tourism Board, now going to be christened Hotels and Tourism Development Commission, will help us to implement these policies. They will drive these policies on behalf of the government of Akwa Ibom State.
When this bill becomes a law, these farmers will be encouraged
to form associations, and these associations will operate as cooperative societies so that they can have access to the funds that is coming to that sector of our economy.
Stakeholders and policy advocates also made submissions offering recommendations on their legal, institutional, and operational frameworks.
We have about 2,715 inmates across. That's not saddening. The number isn't a problem. But the problem is that the facility is not enough for these inmates.
They cannot function well when you are paying people 20,000, and we think that is the tourist place that we can be. The NLC is suggesting that one of the functions, as will be included, is that this commission should ensure, as one of their functions, that people are paid living wage.
The Crown proposes that since the council is to be supervised by the Attorney General, who also recommends the members to the governor for appointment, the council should be chaired by a retired judge of Akwa Ibom State.
Citizens further expressed confidence that the engagement will yield valuable outcomes and further strengthen the foundation for state growth. David Isong, ADBN News.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
We'll now return to Ekiti State, where residents of Ekiti State have expressed their readiness to participate in today's governorship election, voicing hopes for a peaceful, transparent, and credible process. With campaigns officially concluded, voters say they are eager to elect a leader who will address key challenges and consolidate the state's development efforts. Now, let's join ADBN's Favor Suzua, who is already in Ekiti State for the election, to bring us updates.
As Ekiti State prepares for Saturday's governorship election, expectations are high among residents who say the poll has an opportunity to determine the direction of the state for the next 4 years. Across communities say they are ready to exercise their civic responsibility, and they are hopeful that the election will reflect the will of the people.
I'm very ready. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to vote. I'm going to express my civic responsibility to vote for whom the law will choose for us tomorrow.
Yeah, I will just tell them to exercise their franchise without fear of evil. And their vote will always count. Though they used to say their vote doesn't count, they can buy, but no, it is not true. It's only where they didn't vote that a lot of anomalies might have happened. But if they go out and exercise their franchise, definitely, I said definitely, their vote will count.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has concluded all necessary preparations for the election, assuring voters of a smooth, free, and credible exercise.
The residents of Ekiti should come out and vote en masse for the candidate of your choice. The security is adequate, and they should realize that if they don't vote, they are shining away from their civic responsibility. It is your responsibility. People always talk about rights without talking about responsibility. Their responsibility is to make sure they partake in the electoral process and choose the candidate or they elect the person they want.
Security agencies have also reiterated their commitment to maintaining peace and order, assuring residents of adequate security before, during, and after the election.
We have done everything that is needed to be done, confident. And this is being confirmed by CSOs and members of the public to place specific measures to deter people or anyone that wants to snatch any ballot. We're putting everything in place to make sure that nothing disturbs or stops us from arriving at the polling units, setting up to enable vote counts to commence 8:30.
The state government has called on all eligible voters to come out in large numbers, conduct themselves peacefully, and participate actively.
It will remain peaceful. They've been peaceful all this while. Remain peaceful. This is the land of honor. We are honorable people. Be honorable in what you are doing tomorrow in your conduct.
As Ekiti residents head to the polls, attention will be focused on voter turnout, security, and overall credibility of the electoral process. In Ado-Ekiti, Favor Osazuwe, ADBN News.
The Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to creating a transparent, inclusive and investment-friendly business environment to stimulate economic growth and sustainable development. The governor made the commitment at a technical workshop on business-enabling reforms and investment competitiveness organized by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council in collaboration with the Rivers State Investment Promotion Agency in Port Harcourt. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Dagogo Wakoma, Fubara said the state government is implementing reforms and policies aimed at positioning Rivers as a preferred investment destination by promoting business growth and economic prosperity. You're watching ADBN News at 7. Stay with us for more stories after this weather. Thanks for staying. And now the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, and the University of Benin, UNIBEN, have renewed their memorandum of understanding and expanded their partnership to include new PhD programs in law, policy, and governance. The agreement signed in Abuja renews a decade-long partnership on postgraduate education, research capacity building, and policy development. NILDS Director General Professor Abubakar Suleiman described it as a major milestone and announced 2 new PhD programs in law, policy, and legislation and social science, politics, and governance to boost research and public service leadership.
And from the very beginning, I was part of that faculty. And so, over the years, we've been able to sustain the mandate articulated in the MOU. And so what we are doing now is to further strengthen that relationship. I'm very confident that this relationship will continue to be sustained. Even after we've left here, concluded our service time here. Without much ado, we know what is contained in the MOU. But I want to emphasize that the major sustaining grace is the fact that we see the relationship from a deeper perspective than just merely academic relationship. We believe that we are rendering very major service to the country in the sense that we are building capacity. For me, as a Vice Chancellor, this MOU aligns with 2 of my major planks of my own agenda for the university. The first being the strengthening of academic programs of the University of Benin, and ensuring that it meets with world-class standards.
Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Edoba Omorege, pledged the university's continued support, saying the collaboration has already produced positive results in training and research and will further strengthen legislative studies and academic excellence in Nigeria.
It is my pleasure on behalf of the leadership of the National Assembly to welcome you all to this very important occasion. marking the signing of the 4th Memorandum of Understanding between the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS, and the University of Benin. Today's event is particularly significant because it reflects a partnership that has endured for well over a decade and continues to contribute meaningfully to our postgraduate education, research, capacity building, and national development. Today's occasion, too, is very, very monumental to me because it's the first time the Governing Council Pro-Chancellor is attending the function. And it's the first of its kind under the leadership of Omorige as the VC. And this might be the last of the kind under my own watch as the DG of NILS.
The signing ceremony was attended by the Uniben Pro-Chancellor Professor Shoaibu Umaru and other senior officials from both institutions. Away from that, the federal government has intensified efforts to boost revenue generation and eliminate leakages by engaging the banking sector on the Revenue Optimization Assurance Platform, a digital system designed to enhance transparency and accountability in public finance. Speaking at a sensitization workshop organized by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation in Abuja, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, represented by the Permanent Secretary Special Duties, Mohammed Danjuma, said the platform was introduced to modernize revenue collection across government agencies. He explained that platform as a centralized digital platform that enables federal agencies to generate, collect, monitor, and report revenues in real time, replacing inefficient manual processes that have hindered effective revenue administration. In a spirit of knowledge sharing, benchmarking, and as part of efforts to broaden bilateral relationship in the African energy industry, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, was taken on a tour to the Nigerian Oil and Gas Park Scheme, NOGAP, situated in MAO1, Obia local government area of Bayelsa State. A correspondent, Edith Barsua, reports.
After a week-long benchmarking visit by the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation to NCDMB, the board decided to give the Ghana delegation a tour of the Nigerian Oil and Gas Park Scheme. Developed by the NCDMB, the industrial park serves as a local hub for manufacturing of essential components and spares required in oil and gas industry operations, and others to facilitate domiciliation and domestication of oil and gas activities in the state. The team toured the 25 hectares multi-billion naira industrial facility, which includes manufacturing and shop floors, a dedicated 2.5 megawatts compressed natural gas power plant, administrative blocks, water treatment plants, a fire station, truck parking zones, and holding areas. Places also toured were modern classrooms, an amphitheater, clinics, residential apartments, and hotels for trainers and visitors. According to the board, the park is expected to generate over 2,000 direct and indirect employment opportunities for Nigerian youths upon full operation. The Ghana delegation expressed awe and commended the board for the insightful tour to the facility, noting that the visit to the board has been much more successful beyond expectations.
We came with certain expectations, but I can speak competently on behalf of my team that you have surpassed the expectation that we came with. The few days that we have been here, we have understood the governance structure of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board.
Executive Secretary NCDMB Engineer Felix Omashola will be represented by Dr. Abdul Malik Helulu, Director of Corporate Services. In his closing remarks, urged GNPC to collaborate and remodel the policies, strategies, and incentives that the board have shared concerning building a sustainable local content environment in Ghana and Africa.
The business-to-business engagements. How does GNPC mobilize service companies, create the necessary capacity, and create also partly the capacities to be exported to Nigeria for the purpose of doing oil and gas business. The same thing with Nigeria. How do we build capacity to international standards, and then through our relationship create a policy instrument that allows Nigerians to seamlessly integrate into the Ghanaian supply chain.
That is not copy and paste. There's always in-country unique things that you need to consider. Even our own laws was a product of benchmarking with other countries. With Norway's example, with Brazil's example, but we came back and looked at our own in-country best fit purpose law.
A prior activity of the day was a presentation on the Nigerian Content Intervention Fund scheme of the board and how Ghana can adopt the model to accelerate Ghana local content and retain in-country value addition. Edith Barsway, ADB News.
Nasarawa State has taken another major step towards climate resilient development with the validation of policy documents aimed at reducing carbon emissions and promoting clean energy solutions. The documents include the draft Nasarawa State Low Emission Development Strategy, a clean cook station framework, and a 10-year costed action plan. A correspondent Mario Gigi has more.
Stakeholders drawn from government ministries, development partners, financial institutions, academia, civil society groups, and the private sector gathered in Lafia to review and validate the strategy developed by the Nasarawa State Human Capital Development Agency.
The average household size in Nasarawa State, who knows what it is?
Director General of the agency, Habiba Balarabe Suleiman, said findings from a statewide survey showed that over 82% of households still rely on firewood and charcoal for cooking, while more than 40% suffer challenges linked to smoke inhalation. She noted that the strategy seeks to position Nasarawa State on the path to net zero emissions by 2060, with a target of reaching 1 million households with clean cooking solutions by 2030.
Every contribution made today will be documented and incorporated into the final revised versions of the 3 documents. Your candor is therefore not merely welcome, it is required.
Head of Green Growth, Dr. Adnan Aminu, described clean cooking as a health, environmental, and economic necessity.
From our survey, we see more than 92% of people say they want to change from their normal cooking to cleaner cooking. It means we can have a boom in business development because of transitioning. So it's all about health, it's all about business, if that's where you're looking at it, and most importantly, it's all about the environment.
Stakeholders are expected to make inputs that will strengthen the final policy documents and guide implementation across the state over the next decade. Mary Ujiji, reporting for ADBN News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening care and support for people living with sickle cell disease across the country. This was the focus of activities marking this year's World Sickle Cell Day, themed Closing the Survival Gap, Equity in Sickle Cell Disease. A health correspondent, Pereobong Chibong, who was there at the event, tells us more.
Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Dajo Kacholom, described sickle cell disease as a major public health concern that continues to affect thousands of Nigerians.
Our efforts to address sickle cell disease are aligned with the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, through which we are strengthening primary health care, expanding financial protection, improving access to quality services, and delivering better health outcomes nationwide.
Directors as well as development partners reaffirmed their support for Nigeria's efforts to tackle sickle cell disease through research, advocacy, capacity building, and interventions designed to improve survival rates.
Statistics also show that Nigeria ranks the most sickle cell endemic country in Africa, with an annual death of over 100,000, representing 8% of infant mortality. in the country.
BON has come in for the past 7 years to be a support and to be a partner in alleviating and to lead this burden on the part of the patients. We have been the major manufacturer of hydroxyurea, which has been used and still being used to alleviate and to reduce this burden.
We provide essential medications for sickle cell warriors in our sickle cell clinics. And we also provide subsidized sickle cell commodity for sickle cell warriors in terms of hydroxyurea. That we provide that, and also we provide capacity building for warriors to ensure that they live good life.
The event also provided an opportunity for survivors and persons living with sickle cell disease to share their experiences, highlighting the challenges they face and the importance of access to affordable and timely health care.
I'm a sickle cell survivor. I'm a warrior. And the journey has not been easy, but with the right medications and the right treatment and therapy also, it always helps.
We're listening to rich conversations, but I think we have to take for quiet. And so let's take a tea break. When we come back, we'll start this panel session. All right? Please, David, where's tea served? All right? So, exit.
As World Sickle Cell Day, health experts say that early diagnosis, genetic counseling, and increased access to quality remains critical to reducing the burden of the disease. From the nation's capital, Perebon Achibon, reporting for ADBN News.
Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is intensifying efforts to dismantle drug trafficking by targeting their financial assets in addition to arresting suspects. Speaking at a joint press briefing, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in Abuja ahead of the World Drug Day, NDLEA Chairman Mohammed Buba Marwa said the agency is deploying legal measures to identify, seize and forfeit assets believed to be proceeds of drug-related crimes to the federal government. Marwa added that the agency's legal department has recorded unprecedented conviction rate supported by the Proceeds of Crime Act, which empowers the NDLEA to pursue the financial assets of drug traffickers beyond criminal prosecution. The United Nations Office on Drug and Crime says the global drug problem is continuing to evolve with new challenges, stressing that partnership, innovation and sustained action remain critical to protecting communities and reducing the impact of drug abuse. The week-long commemoration features a walk against drug abuse, youth outreach programs, an essay competition, and engagements with civil society groups, with the grand finale scheduled for June 26 at the State House Conference Center in Abuja.
We have continued to dismantle complex syndicates, leading to the arrest and successful prosecution of major drug bearers. Law enforcement officers and legal department have achieved unprecedented conviction rates. Fortified heavily by the Proceeds of Crime Act, we are not just arresting and prosecuting traffickers, we are liberating their financial empires. Through aggressive prosecution and civil action direct, we are forfeiting instrumentalities and assets that are expected to be proceeds of drug crime to the federal government, effectively cutting off the lifeline of these criminal networks.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police Training and Development, Ifeanyi Uche, has commended Governor Peter Mbah's administration for investing in modern security infrastructure and manpower development in Enugu State. Speaking at a 5-day security training program in Enugu, Uche said the state's deployment of technology-driven policing tools has made it one of the safest in Nigeria, noting that modern crime fighting now requires digital and intelligence-led approaches. The training themed Building Smarter, Safer and Secure Communities focused on cybersecurity, data gathering, digital investigations and intelligence policing for security agencies including the police, NSCDC, forest guards and neighborhood watch. Moving on now, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Y.D. Shuaibu, says victory on the battlefield depends not only on weapons and technology but also on troops' fighting spirit, discipline, and resilience. Speaking at a seminar titled Warrior Ethos, a tool for building unit cohesion and a combat-ready force, held at the Infantry Corps Center, Jaji, Kaduna State, Shaibu, represented by Commander Infantry Corps Major General Godwin Mutkut, said unity of purpose and strong cohesion remain vital in tackling Nigeria's security challenges. He described warrior ethos as central to military professionalism, highlighting courage, discipline, loyalty, resilience, and selfless service as key values for effective operations.
Successful armies have demonstrated that superior weapon system and advanced technologies alone do not guarantee victory. Rather, it is the fighting spirit, collective resolve, and shared sense of purpose among soldiers that ultimately determines success on the battlefield. Cultivating a strong warrior ethos is essential to fostering trust, strengthening unit cohesion, and developing the mental toughness required to confront the complex and evolving security challenges of our time.
The Chief of Transformation and Innovation Army, Major General Peter Okoye, represented by Major General Emo Agi, said resilience, mental readiness, and discipline remain critical to operational effectiveness in contemporary security environments.
The strength of Nigeria Army lies not only in its equipment and capability, but also in the resilience, discipline, and mental readiness of its personnel. It is imperative that we sustain and strengthen the warrior spirit that defines our profession.
Also speaking, lead resource person Major General Charles Ofoche, retired, said strengthening the warrior ethos is essential for improving professionalism, combat readiness, and operational effectiveness. He noted that the fighting spirit remains a key factor in confronting insurgency, banditry, and other asymmetric security threats across the country.
Mental toughness is the armor you wear inside your head. The enemy will test your body with bullets and attack your mind with fear, doubt, and fatigue. If your mind breaks, your body will follow. A tough mind keeps shooting, keeps moving, keeps thinking, and keeps leading, no matter the pressure.
The seminar forms part of ongoing efforts by the Nigerian Army to strengthen the professional, mental, and moral conditions of first engaged in operations nationwide. Now, President Tinubu has directed the immediate and permanent strengthening of security at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, Plateau State, following a recent attack that left 2 soldiers and a police officer dead. Vice President Kashim Shettima conveyed the directive on Friday during a visit to the institution where he addressed participants of senior executive corps 48 on behalf of the president. Shettima said the incident has reinforced the federal government's commitment to guarding critical national institutions and supporting security operatives. He also extended condolences to the families of the slain personnel and assured them of government support. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has approved a final 6-month extension for the Controller General of the Nigeria Customs, Adewale Adeniyi. The extension, which will run until 2027, follows the expiration of his first tenure extension on August 1, 2026. According to the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the extension is to enable Adeniyi consolidate implementation of the National Single Window Project and ensure a smooth succession plan within the service. During the period, Adeniyi will work with the Nigeria Customs Service Board to oversee the promotion of eligible officers and the compulsory retirement of officers who have attained 60 years of age or 35 years in service. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, has appointed Anietie Iniedu as the new Public Relations Officer of the Nigeria Police Force. His appointment was announced in a statement by outgoing spokesperson Anthony Placid, who described him as an experienced public communication, intelligence, and policing operations. Iniedu, an indigene of Akwa Ibom State and graduate of the University of Uyo, previously headed the Complaint Response Unit at Force Headquarters, Abuja. He takes over from Anthony Placid, who assumed office in March 2026. You're watching ATBN News at 7. Stay with us for more stories from the Foreign Sports Desk. To stay.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
Thanks for staying on the foreign scene. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says there could be a new shift in approach in Russia-US relations following recent diplomatic engagements. Lavrov made the remarks in Moscow on Friday during a joint press conference with Madagascar's Foreign Minister Alice Ndiaye after bilateral talks he referenced earlier. Discussions in Anchorage, saying understanding had been reached based on proposals from the American side and agreed to by President Vladimir Putin. And in sports now, the United States has advanced to the World Cup knockout with a game to spare after a 2-0 win over Australia on Friday, securing their place in the next round alongside co-hosts Mexico. The result puts the U.S. in a strong position in Group D with the possibility of finishing top if Turkey fail to beat Paraguay, which they did. Elsewhere, Morocco edged Scotland 1-0, while Brazil began their campaign with a 3-0 win over Haiti. And that's it on ATBN TV News. Remember to watch us live on DSTV channel 258 and Star Times channel 140, Apple TV app, Linux World TV app, and Niger TV app. For more stories, visit our website at adbntv.com. You can also watch us live from every part of the world by logging on to adbntv.com/live. My name is Xavier Robert. Thanks for watching. You have a terrific weekend. Bye.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
That the most important thing that drives every society, that drives every economy, that drives everywhere in the world as we speak, in the contemporary world, is human capital. Once you get it right there, you are wrong. But absence of a very resourceful, very educated human capital, then you are nowhere to place yourself in every aspect of life. So, bringing this program is a big succor, is a big driver of the needs of our desire, a big propeller for us to have the society we want as Nigerians. And we can't thank Mr. President enough. He has done very well, and we are proud of him for this singular and other things that he has done. But to the use of this country, to the future of this country, this is the most important program that we can see in the current Nigeria. Now, no matter how beautiful, no matter how beneficial is a program, if you don't sensitize, if you don't tell those concerned, and even those that are not concerned, all are some, if you don't tell them what it entails, how you can assess it, then the benefit will not go down to the people. And this is what this program we are conducting today is all about.
Our mandate is very simple. There's a recognition by His Excellency that the future of Nigeria is not in the hands of the present crop of leadership. The future of Nigeria is in the hands of those in classrooms today, helping to develop the best that they can be to build a nation. Our job is to reach those people. We have one plea to everybody in the room today. 1.6 million beneficiaries. It's not going to change Nigeria. We need at least 7 million Nigerians to be benefiting from this. And when we expand into skills and TVET, we believe that there are 50 million Nigerians who could benefit from this. This is what's going to make the change. Honorable Enidara gave some statistics earlier. 1.6 million Nigerian students have benefited directly from this scheme. If we recognize the fact that everybody in this country comes from an average family of 5, it means that we're touching the lives directly and semi-directly of nearly 10 million people. That's not to speak of the funds that have gone out to develop and to be tripled around the academic institutions.
The establishment of the Nigeria Education Loan Fund by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, demonstrates the government's unwavering commitment to ensuring that no qualified Nigerian student is denied access to education because of financial constraints. Education remains one of the most important and powerful instruments for national development, social mobility, and economic transformation. Through NELFund, the federal government is providing a sustainable mechanism that empowers students to access quality education, while investing in the human capital development required to drive Nigeria's future growth and competitiveness. I am particularly pleased that this sensitization program is on creating awareness and addressing concerns regarding the student loan scheme. As a minister, we keep receiving calls from our constituents. We don't have registration fee. We don't have money we need to sustain our stay in the university. Now it's long gone. We don't receive such calls anymore because the students have access to loan, also have access to daily stipends. It's making education easy for everyone. While the fund has recorded significant progress since its inception, it is important that accurate information reaches students, parents, educational institutions, and community.
However, a great policy that is not understood and not to be fully utilized, early feedback institutional leaders about the law.
On what to do as far as you can prove your case. And from what I can see, it's like the petition forwarded is not backed with enough evidence to prove your case. Do we give you another time to come with full and supporting evidence to defend this petition? Whenever you are ready, the documents are ready to send the documents to us.
Then, of course, as the last speaker noted, the area that has to do with foreign cooperation, there's a vulnerability in that. I don't think we should receive funding from outside the country. it's a serious vulnerability. Of course, when they fund you, they want to know how you spend the money and what you spend the money on. We shouldn't disclose what we are doing because threats can come from anywhere. Then we suggest that there should be a clear separation of governance and executive functions within the council. Then there should be establishment of explicit legislative oversight and accountability.
We further note that for the purpose of national intelligence coordination, the bill should align more explicitly with the existing framework of the National Security Agencies Act to avoid institutional fragmentation, and recommend, therefore, that it could evolve into a national intelligence, science, and technology hub, supporting the broader Nigerian intelligence community.
So I think that it is important to look at the source of funding and be very specific. This funding will, and then of course, because you are going to be very specific, it will also be possible for those who will manage the institution to be able to predict how much is the income they expect at any given time. That's the first part I see. The second, of course, is the appointment to the board. Now, we are told in Section 5 that the chairman is to be appointed by the president, and also a secretary is going to be appointed by the president. Who is going to manage this fund?
This identification of ours is not going without the work of some people at the background. And you are those people at the background that have been really acquired work without even being recognized by us. Yes. But I felt, since the idea today is nice for me to come and see and express our appreciation to tell you that we know what you are and what you are doing is good for us. So as mutual as you can, while protecting everybody. Because by protecting the people, then you have shown the world that you are truly the professional police that Nigeria is to design. State police that is coming up. It is actually professionals that will have to recruit future professionals. The police command will play a key role in the process of the recruitment.
Your commitment to strengthening security architecture across the states has significantly enhanced our operational effectiveness and capacity to combat crime and criminality within the state.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to the Council of the Northern Rulers who had a meeting today and invited the Inspector General of Police. I've been part of the meeting and it's worthy of attendance in the sense that it came at a time that security issue is bothering everyone. And discussion have started, and one of the things everybody agreed to is that security is of everybody. And that takes us to the issue of community policing, getting close to the community getting close to their security operatives. Not only the police, all the security agencies are there to assist to bring down the present issue that we are going through. Community are the police, and the police are the community. It's everybody's duty. And what are we doing about it? We are doing a lot. We are getting closer to members of the community. We are getting closer to those in the community through tradition. These are the traditional rulers all over the country. And we are beginning to get successes. We are beginning to get successes. This thing happening is not Nigeria only, it's a global thing. It's a West African thing. We are having bandits coming into the country and escaping out of the country. So far, so good. We have enjoined everybody to assist security operatives. Integrating it, the Nigerian police and other security agencies are ever ready to ensure that we bring peace to this country. You were here when I did members of the Jigawa needs, young, and look at their faces. You see the morale in them. They are ever ready to go. I'm not surprised that Jigawa State is having this kind of a peace. That we're in fact one of the safest states in the country as we speak today, and I've commended them. And then by the time we have meetings after the press have left us. We are going to go down to the basis where I will tell them my position and my expectation of them.
No better security strategy than a strategy with the people and the community that comes together to plan way forward. All hands must be on deck, from the families, traditional rulers, religious leaders, community leaders, youth groups, to all and sundry. Together, we must continue to identify and address security threats before it escalates.
From January 2026 to date, arrest of 35 suspects involving in kidnapping, cattle rustling, armed robbery, illegal possession of firearms, serious offenses. Rescue of 7 kidnapped victims from various locations across the state. These achievements are a testament to the dedication, resilience, professionalism, and sacrifice of the officers and men of the command, working in close collaboration or in synergy with other sister agencies.
The Akwa Ibom State Police Command has commenced a nationwide enforcement operation aimed at ensuring full compliance with estate traffic and security regulations. This initiative is part of a broader effort to strengthen public safety, enhance crime prevention, and deny criminals elements the opportunity to use unreconcealed vehicle plate numbers to perpetrate crimes. Operatives of the command conduct targeted operations on 10th June 2026 at about 15:30 hours at a village where the suspect was apprehended again. This time around, during the operation, the following items were recovered: 4 assorted Android phones, 2 button phones, 1 standing fan, 1 80 amp capacity power bank, 1 table rechargeable fan, 1 tricycle with registration number AFG64WO, jackknife, and quantities of substances suspected to be illicit drugs. 1 Akaniene Udo, popularly known online as AK Pillow, was arrested for circulating a threatening message captioned "AK get ready for us," alongside the image of an armed bandit, thereby causing fear and apprehension among residents in Akwa Ibom State. Following the conclusion of the investigation, the suspect was charged before a competent court and subsequently remanded in correctional facility. The command wishes to reiterate that the creation, publication, or dissemination of false security alerts, fake news, and other misleading information capable of disturbing public constitute a criminal offense, and offenders will be arrested and prosecuted in accordance with the law.
Every set, a story break.
President Bola Tinubu has formally sent the 6th appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opens. One keeps you connected from the headlines shaking to stories everyone talks tomorrow. Stream anywhere. When the storm says, you know where to TBN. A part of you.
Feels good. Everything feels new. I don't think new about today, the 20th day in the month of June 2026. Good morning to the weekend edition of the Morning Express. I'm not alone. I'm always excited when I have, I don't want to say sidekick. She's more than a sidekick. When I have Jennifer Pius with me. But my name is Cool Duet. Announce it. Your Majesty.
He said Jennifer Pius.
Oh, did I say? Did you have to remind me?
Well, I'm also
it'll take time.
I'm also rehearsing my name too, so it's fine. It's
totally so I'm not the only one who requires.
It's okay. It's still my name anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Jennifer Ekpenyong is the name, and of course, this morning we're fully ready and set to ensure that you have a great experience this Saturday morning. We know what's going on in Ekiti, and of course, we will bring you the updates and highlights of activities as it pans out with this election ongoing. And of course, we know the experience, the talk, the discussion about INEC 2027 will also get to capture that even while the Ekiti elections and voting will be ongoing. So keep it on ADV channel 258 on the STV 40 on Star Time. You can watch us on different online platforms and also get the best day's broadcasts. So we'll take a break. When we return, we'll tell you what's on the papers.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Niger of Inquiry and Contrast. From its breathtaking to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is where the people fight a share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we go the heart of the Niger Delta, discover vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, story of a journey of hope. To miss our exclusive series Niger Delta Today every day at noon, only BNTV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. Dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring key policies and decisions across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday noon. Tune in for the latest stories, the nation's heart. The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. Market report bring it to speed in the business world.
Welcome back, and now we catch the papers are talking about, of course, it's very, very obvious. They'll be talking about the elections in Ekiti, and what's going on in Ekiti is what's been captured on the papers. We'll get to see from previous and what's ongoing at the moment. But on the papers, we have different opinion. So we'll head straight to what it talks about. But before then, we have our reviewer in you. I'll leave that to a man to do.
Yeah, so let me do the honors here at this juncture. Well, he's a comrade, a journal publisher, public affairs analyst. We're talking about Mr. Paulinus. He joins us this morning to make sense of the conversations for this morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Paulinus. It's great to have you.
Thank you for
welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's get straight to The Guardian for some guide on this discussion. The Guardian says, upbeat as Ekiti elect dream smooth. The writer says, please restrict movement, deploy DIG, AG, anti-terror squad for security, raise concerns of vote buying commission. SDP cries foul or inability to load agents' credentials to INEC portal. Media bodies tax journalists, nationalism, safety, consciousness. I would like to look at other papers, but before then, let me bring this to you. It says here, first rider, on the headline, dream smooth pool. Have we gotten to a point where we can just dream of a smooth pool? Shouldn't this be something should like be occurrent, like a normal.
You don't dream about it.
There's no crime in dreaming. You can dream. You can. There's no liberty, no limitation to dreams. You dream, but actually, the ideal sense, it should not really be dream. You should transcend the realms of a dream. Reality. Current and the climate we want, and of course the prevailing situation, political situation, and of course the stage of our political evolution. It still has to revolve and gyrate within the realms of dream. It's not supposed to be within the realms of dream. It should be so. That's how it should be. At this level of, at this stage in civilization, we should be thinking of.
You don't suppose the publisher yourself that the writer of that headline on that newspaper was just trying to use what you writers do, because of course he would have used another synonym, which would be anticipate. Smooth.
Well,
but he used the dream. So I mean that's what you people do.
You see, it's what we call the mass communication English, English for journalists. Well, it has a denotation and connotation, but it's within the same frame. Expectation. What do you expect? It's not out of context anyway.
Yeah.
It's a marketing communication technique.
Well, I think it's just part of the ways to sell the paper.
Yeah, of course, yes. Of course.
All right, let's look at what other papers are talking about in regards to this. And that takes us to This Day newspaper. This Day says, Ekiti decide Onyebanji Oluyede in 2-horse race. The writer says 13 political parties jostle for governorship seat. EU monitors against vote buying violence. SDP denies withdrawing from police deploy personnel, tactical assets, by elections hold in 6 states. And also we have that captured on The Nation. The Nation also talks about the elections ongoing in Ekiti. The Nation. On The Nation paper, it says here, APC, ADCP test strength in Ekiti governorship election. Drama at INEC. Security agents eject PDP candidate. INEC, polls will be transparent, credible. Rivers, Nassau, Enugu on the new senator by election.
Elections, I think that's also taking place today.
Exactly. And on, we'll have Saturday Tribune talk about Ekiti election. Saturday Tribune says, Ekiti poll, Amotekun, Vijay groups barred from election duty. And we have the writer say, armed personnel deployed to Kwara, Kogi, Ondo, other entities. All security personnel and of 2,400 fortified units. IDP, peaceful election, activates emergency response line. This is a lot, and majorly we've seen so much on security. Majorly, we've also please restrict movement, deploy AIG, DIG, tactical teams. We've also had function.
Okay. Talking about general security.
Yeah, this is for the election. Shouldn't this be worrisome?
Well, really, if you understand the trend, if you follow the trend, it appears to you like most of these media books, exaggerations and all of that. It's a normal thing. It's always like that. In the next a couple of thereabouts,
it will all fizzle out.
Fizzle away, quietly and peacefully, and we return to the status quo. There is one writer that really caught my interest, where they say ERA E or whatever. Yeah. They want to watch monitoring.
Yes.
Did I hear you? Fine. That's a very beautiful proposal, It's a soul-lifting proposal.
Is it practicable in the real sense
that's
of how Nigerian
that's where we are going.
Made?
That's where it depends on what they call vote, but I don't call it that. They call it appreciation. Yeah.
I'm saying that one for the first time.
That's a
appreciation.
Voters appreciation. They don't
know.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out to vote.
I heard that the auction when I was monitoring media monitoring. I heard the voter appreciation. Nobody buys vote here. Not from appreciating your. If you feel like appreciate your voter, and off camera.
And how would you? This person is voting for you.
That is why every unit has a structure. They know themselves. For instance, if I'm from maybe here to here in Rio, from my ward we have my unit where I come from. The unit consists of streets surrounding a neighborhood,
Yeah.
So we know ourselves. I know those who are voting for my party. I know those who support my candidates. We know our political differences. So it's not difficult to know.
Well, I could act like I support them.
Now, the way I want to really ask this, the question I have is that, okay, fine, they say they want to monitor vote buying, voter appreciation. They want to
No, I think we should speak.
They want to monitor. How would they see? How do they know where they are traded? How do they know where change for money or cash or whatever?
Oftentimes from history, what is that you always have agent, of a particular party or a candidate come with money. The camera. Usually they don't do it before. The camera has a way of finding them.
They don't even do it there these days. If you follow the trend, they finish everything a night before or that morning, even before they go to the what do you call it, the units or whatever. So they are conscious. Anybody who is guilty of this crime, to say, is conscious.
I say that they have now advanced their method. They don't do
technology. Sometimes they transfer. So most times these days they do transfer through some other people that may. For instance, if I will not be the one to transfer the voter appreciation, I wouldn't avoid the thing and security. So I have my agent or my sister or my friend.
They do it through agent.
Through agent, so you don't trace it.
But how is it possible that in other climes, monies are being followed, and it gets to a point where they find the main person which had on the initial transaction? How is it possible that is done? But in Nigeria, we cannot follow through.
Yeah, not that we cannot, we do not. Yeah, we cannot, just like the issue of security where they say they cannot trap bandits. It's hilarious, it's funny to hear that.
Let me ask you, in the last elections, Elon Musk did something very fantastic.
Yeah.
He was appreciating voters.
Voters, yeah.
And the term used is not... So either people gather orientation of that, and I just just be appreciating people. I'm not telling them to vote my party. I just want to appreciate people, you know. So I think it's about the term. In Nigeria, call it empowerment.
Yeah, that's the euphemism for
they call it empowerment.
For distraction. Empowerment is a euphemism for distraction. Distraction. Distract from saying what you should do.
Nobody stops you from, even philanthropists in power, okay, so nobody stops you from empowerment. What blesses me, I have
empowerment is different, it's more sustainable.
We're talking about sophisticated ways through with votes, you know, vote buying goes on. I mean, a philanthropist can come into a place and say, okay, he wants to empower his community, people.
During election?
Before election.
Okay, but how long?
It could be 48 hours. I have been busy. 48 hours before the election, I got me seriously. If do it, and nobody questioned it in the United States election.
Why the urgency?
So give me before the election period. So go and ask him. If he comes to the US, he can succeed here.
We'll get to look at some adjustments expected in the security. So, well, while we're still ongoing, we'll at points bring in feeds from Ekiti State, where voting probably in some locations on, and officials probably in some locations have also arrived, and so we'll bring you those up intermittently with the discussion for the day. So let's look at Saturday Times, and this time we'll look at some mental adjustment in the security sector. I know this would interest you. Journalists to wear vests, march with troops against terrorists in combat zones. I knew it.
I have a problem with that. Before he will talk, let me talk. What I know, like in international news platforms, I mean, we've seen Christina Amanpour, be it, you know, war zones and areas where there's heavy fighting. We've seen some other internationally recognized journalists who go there. They do not wear, they wear is the hat, that armor cap, and then a bulletproof. But they, I should wear uniform, and I don't know who a journalist is, and you
Mr. Holiness.
Well, in advanced reporting, if you study at a certain stage in the study, you get to know where a journalist is supposed to have some military or introduction. I'm not saying you should introduce a little bit to the car, where you are about to go and where you find yourself. Just like if you are a hunter, there's a way they walk in the bush while hunting, different from how you walk on the street. The way you bounce your foot, you bounce one foot, you listen. If there's any reaction, or there could be an animal, and once he hears the sound, he will be, what's that? You know? So there should be certainly some sort of introduction of some military background.
But if we have to go by what papers journalists to wear, Jennifer, run that again, because
journalists, Saturday journalists to wear military vests, march with troops.
Okay, so vest. If it's a vest, then it's a bulletproof, right? It's a bulletproof. I mean, it's some people call it the bullet, right? So if it's a vest, it's a bulletproof, and then you also wear that military cap. Some of them are bulletproof as well. The bullets, especially when they're aiming at your head.
But Mr. Nta, but looking at how can we differentiate a journalist from a military?
He's not going to be catered in the full regalia.
No, it will not be difficult. That can never be difficult because a military officer, especially in the war theater, the theater of war, it's not difficult to look to identify. A journalist is even from the movement. From the arms, you can't be armed. You can't.
The arm is camera and a microphone.
It will just microphone and maybe something to, do your job.
Would you be sent to a location of this nature?
Yes, I will. I like conflicts.
Combat zones.
I like to.
Did I hear you well?
You like trouble? I'm journalist. I like
trouble always.
Not trouble. I like controversy.
One of of the
it's
areas
dangerous.
Well, I will die. If I go there, I will come back. I will go and come back. I will not die there.
You're so sure, as though you have Odeshi.
Not Odeshi. From where from and from who I am, I like things like that. If I go there, I'm very sure I will not die there. I will bring the news back to Nigeria. I will do my thing.
Are you yourself?
I'm not. Why?
Well, one area journalists have had issues on this discussion has been the military hasn't been well protected. The safety of civilians. What's the guarantee
of the safety of the journalists? I mean, bullets are flying everywhere.
That's why conflict reporting is not for all journalists. You have to decide before you go. If you think you are patriotic enough, because you may go, you may
put on the line.
You just have to make up your mind. I am going for that's war. You are going for war. You are reporting. That's war. That's a theater. That's a war theater. That's conflict. That's battlefield. You are going there. It's either you survive. So you just zero your mind and go. Not for every journalist. There are some that would never, even if you want to pay them in dollars, daily or hourly, say they won't go. Some that would say I'm good. Some would volunteer to even go. So I think it's a question of individual difference.
And in this conversation, mentioned earlier that this is to also help journalists get to see what happens in the field firsthand. We have had to multiple times talk about the military, address terrorism issues in the country, and so maybe you will have to come with us.
They welcome development if they implement it. If it is implemented, not just a formative policy like that.
But with training will also go.
Certainly.
And an understanding to be able to differentiate who the civilian is. But of course, in the war that we fight here, which is a guerrilla warfare, and this insurgents and bandits, they do not even know that there's an enemy within. There's an enemy within and all of that. But of course, we have update now. We have our correspondent standing by all the way from AKT to up to speed within there. So we'll connect with our correspondent, Kopona C. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Ike.
Yes, kindly bring us up to speed. We can see people queued behind you. Can you tell us how has the process been? At what point did things start? How has the new materials? Just bring us up to speed with what's happening.
Not officially. As far as movements of concern, materials have moved. Because we just came in from Ado Ekiti, currently in Ekiti West, local in Ikogosi. So, and our polling unit is 03, that's at Oyibanji compound. Agitation is currently as we speak, as you can see behind me.
Okay.
If it's as a matter of fact, the process is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jennifer, you were saying?
Yeah, I want to understand if the INEC officials had arrived on time alongside materials.
Well, that's a very because I was going to say they deployed very early. In fact, we cleared to meet them already set up and everything good to go. People are orderly, as you can see. There's no problem whatsoever. In fact, what we are waiting for now is for voting to commence. The INEC officials have given the directions as to how else to proceed and all of that. All we are waiting for is just to start. According to the guidelines, and voting is supposed to officially start by exactly 8:30. So we're just minutes away from takeoff, if I may say so.
Okay, I'd like for you to tell us about the security situation of the state. How has movement been? Is there voter apathy? Are the people going around their different polling units to cast? Or, just bring us up to speed with that.
Okay, as far as movement is concerned and security and all of that, there's no problem whatsoever. security were deployed, though we don't know the exact number of security that's been deployed. The CP yesterday during the press briefing did not confirm the exact number of security that were deployed for this election, but we release everywhere and supporting agencies that are supposed to support these elections. But we also know that there's a structured examination going, so there is some level of because some students will be taking examinations today. And at the same time, we also see that people came out en masse to vote for this election. Don't forget that the state has about 1 million voters for this election. The total population here is just 3.5 million people, but for voter registration, we have about 1 million people. I don't see any. I don't believe we have voter apathy at this point, because we see people coming out en masse to vote. This particular polling unit is where the governor is supposed to vote, and we can see even people are lined up and ready to go. So there's no form of voter apathy from where I stand. I don't think that is something we should be worried about at this point.
Okay, we also get to understand on the technicalities, the beavers. From accreditation process, are they functioning properly? Have you heard of any glitches or technical issues so far?
Yeah, the supporting staff just all the gadgets to go with. Everything is functioning fine. We've not registered any concerns in that direction. So, what we're waiting for now is the go. Sure, elections will continue as scheduled. So there's no whatsoever as to the technicality. So we're not hoping to see this along the line.
All right, our correspondent, Caesar, thank you so much. We'll connect in to you as we progress to get blow by blow of how the elections in Ekiti is. Thank you again.
Not to standing by.
All right, thank you. Let's bring the conversation to you, comrade. Haven't listened to our correspondent tell us about what's happening in Ekiti. What thought? What are your expectations? You know, he's talked about security on ground. He's talked about one of the fear I had was the issue of voter, but of course with what they people are, you know, moving out en masse to cast their vote. So, speaking to nine from The Guardian, dream, this is almost a reality then.
In election, you talk about the overt as well as its situations. He is telling us that what he has seen. Of course, journalism is fact. What you can see, you think, not what people think.
Not assumption.
What you see, visibility, what he's relating now as a journalist. But well, based on the dream, what was that headline that we're dreaming of?
Okay, we'll hold that thought. We'll hold that thought. We'll just take a when we return. We'll get on with the conversation with us.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
In a world of overwhelming voices, where everyone has different opinion on different issues, it is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an evocative program that touches the core of our existence.
The global business is never static. Watch the market report on ADBN TV for business information, latest happening business deals, government economic policies, stock, crude oil and commodity trading, financial upstick and downstick, and the world of organized private sector. The market report showing on ADBN TV 1 to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. The market report bringing you up to speed in the business world. Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN, a part of you.
Welcome back, and still on what the papers are talking about. Of course, we've brought you some updates on activities around election in the state, and we'll still get to bring you more updates as we get more from our correspondents who are on ground in Ekiti. But for now, let's still look at what we're talking about, and that takes us to Saturday Vanguard, still on security matters. Saturday Vanguard. On Saturday Vanguard, it's Nigerians, federal government. And they say, here's what Nigerians are saying to the federal government. Terrorists can truly repent. Stop wasting money rehabilitating them. This is captured on Saturday Vanguard. Let me bring this to you, Mr. Paulinus. Terrorists can't truly repent. In your view, true or false?
Terrorists can't truly
repent.
That adverb, truly, brings makes it even more serious, the conversation more serious. Well, maybe they can repent, but they cannot truly repent. Because before your criminality develops and evolves into the stage of terrorism, you must have you have condemned your physical body, your emotional status, your psychological, to a certain point where you are no more of this world. So that's why I say that they can, depending on the situation and circumstance. But it is not possible. See, there's a problem in my place that says that a witch doctor can repent, can change his mind from that and maybe begin to go to church. But that doesn't mean he forget those things. The weeds, the leaves, those things he used to do, he can't forget. But he may decide not to do them again. So, except that person was not what I would say, a confirmed terrorist.
Okay, so now people talk of that rehabilitation process, and sometimes they're being taken to assist the military. Don't you think, with the knowledge they've gathered from their field of experience as terrorists, they should be able to guide the military on
that? If there is a proper and careful engagement, very, very careful engagement, know the areas you use them for. You monitor their activities. You don't let them lead you. There are certain secrets that should not be exposed even when you are a military man, even if they are co-opted into the military. There's an extent to which they should not reach yet, because terrorists cannot truly repent.
Well, I think a lot of Nigerians are speaking to the issue of compromise, which the military has, suffered over the years. And it's been proven that a lot of these persons who were somehow integrated into the military after their repentance through the Operation Safe Corridor, they have compromised. A lot of times they have been the ones that leak the military location.
That's the infiltration we are talking about.
Exactly. They leak the military location. They are the ones leaking out information to their comrades. Because, of course, sometimes we've heard that the military launches an onslaught, and before you know it, on their way, they are waylaid, and these guys kill them and even take their weapons. And so, as a Nigerian, I support put forward by a lot of Nigerians that these people do not repent. And of course, quoting a particular a politician, the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, where he granted an interview, he also alluded to that fact that these people, there's nothing like repentant terrorists. It's ideological. It's ideological. The war that we're fighting, they have been terribly indoctrinated. Yeah, they've been terribly indoctrinated, and so they can only but pretend. The pretense where the compromise comes from. They pretend like, okay, repented, only so that you reduce your onslaught again. You lower your guard. The lower your guard, and they have information about your movement, your itinerary, they begin to leak it to their comrades, and before you know it, that's where the military suffer casualties. That's where the military gets to, or be the victims rather than, making them the victims. So yeah. I want to align with that call from a lot of Nigerians who do not believe that this guys truly repent, because for me, one of the most difficult to fight is the war against indoctrination.
Well, we're still on this particular issue. we've had so many policies in Nigeria stunted at some point, and some even after accent by the president, we've still had issues of implementation. But this particular policy has been implemented. Why is it so easy to have this implemented, and yet other policies are going through stalled moments?
You see, when you talk about public policy analysis, that has been the problem. See, public policy is the tap roots of public administration. It has three stages. The formulation stage. This must be more comprehensive than every other stage, because this is a stage where you bring the input, data and agenda setting. You bring experts. You don't just sit down because you are the governor or you are the president or you are occupying one sensitive position. You bring out a policy. I want this to be done like this. No. So experts must come with a comprehensive, a list of alternative measures. You formulate this policy. Now, implementation is another critical stage. Who implements it? What is the mindset of those who are implementing? Are we sharing the same ideology? Do they have any difficulties in the process of implementing this? What is going to be the scene, the expected and the unexpected reactions of the implementations? Now, the third stage is evaluation. But in Nigeria, I'm so sorry to say that in Nigeria, we simply, the presidents, the governor, the chairman, the commissioners, you just sit down, bring out one policy and get it implemented, so most times by the wrong people.
You're also speaking to this issue,
to work.
Before you because in the order of alignment, there is also the main headline there on the Vanguard, which also speaks to the issue of insecurity, which of course talks about Abia youths, leading the way, attacking these terrorists and freeing victims who've been kidnapped. I just wanted to put a few things forward. If you have tried a particular approach for years and it is not paying off, is it not commonsensical that you stop? We have been rehabilitating terrorists through the Operation Safe Corridor, the Repentant Terrorist Initiative, and facts which are verifiable, they are bound to the compromise, to the enemy within that we've had to deal with, that has made the fight against it very difficult. If that approach over the years has not brought us the much desired peace that we seek, then I think it's absolutely hypocritical that shoot at sight. I don't know if you understand. In the Buhari administration, he gave a directive, shoot at sight. President Tinubu is saying we do not surrender. And of course, his administration does not meet with terrorists. Now, let us switch the tables. These terrorists, do they show mercy? They don't show mercy to their victims. We've had people killed even after ransom has been paid.
Beheaded, raped.
So everything that they do smirks of atrocity. So why, I align 100% with the people who say we're wasting our money rehabilitating these people because they never truly repent. And every single effort we have done at trying to make them turn a new leaf, at trying to make them turn from their evil ways, rather than get the benefits of what we're invested in, we're just being victims all the same. So if you've tried an approach for several and it's not working, it's high time you change it. I don't think we should continue spending money on rehabilitating these people.
They can't change.
Still talking of issues of rehabilitation, we've seen cases where informants have been sentenced, and some to hanging, death sentence, life sentence, and informants of terrorists.
Okay.
And yet we see terrorists given rehabilitation. Isn't this like killing a fly with a sledgehammer?
Quite hypocritical.
It's a pretty good choice. It's a clear demonstration that we are not even serious about what we are doing.
Well, still on Saturday Vanguard and still on security issues, we have on Saturday Vanguard, guns, Abia youth show the way, attack terrorists, rescue kidnapped victims. The writer says, beat me, threatened to kill me for speaking Igbo on phone, kidnapped widow. I fought back, determined not to die alone. Tricycle operator. This is a new wave. With the other time, it was in Delta State where some residents had foiled a kidnap issue. And this is Abia. Have we got to this point where it is now in the hands of those in that locality?
Now, if it was to be in a climate where security was taken sincerely and seriously, the government would immediately get to that, let me not call him a victim, that security, that guy, get him, study his, if he has any tactics, skills or whatever, get him, pick him.
It can prove beneficial.
Take him, let him be with the government. If he can recruit others, because you don't know, maybe he must have come from some background. Maybe he has some friends who are like that, who can have that bold. But here we just, he can even be victimized by the security agencies. You'll be surprised, you won't be surprised that this same man or guy could be victimized, could be framed up by the security agency who have failed to do their work, what they are expected to do.
And it's also important to establish here that complementing government effort is not a crime. I mean, you get to a point where
it's patriotism.
You take matters into your hands. Yeah. And do you blame Nigerians who have been victims of this constant attack? Do you blame Nigerians who have had their villages ransacked? Do you blame Nigerians who have had their parents killed? Do you blame the who have become widows and widowers? Do you blame children who have become orphans as a result of insecurity? To a point where you take matters in hands. And what these people have done is, for me, complementing the effort of the government. While the government launches from whatever front they are launching, they are not waiting for the government. They are taking matters. They are taking the fight to the terrorists. They are also the custodians. Yes, they are the custodians of their environment. They know the area better. The intruders came in, took people to their locality. They know the in and outs, the nooks and crannies of that area, and so they took the fight to them. Rescued victims. That is complementing government's effort. This is what we do. We don't. I'm not saying government is overwhelmed, okay? I'm not saying that the government is not doing what they're doing. They're recording gains on a daily. They're, of course, dislodging these insurgents, but we do not wait, because this waiting is why communities have been displaced. A lot of persons have been killed. If you can do something to complement the efforts of the government. Let's fight this together.
That reminds me, I heard a story last night. Yeah, a story in a Akwa Ibom State news. Government, the governor, there's plans to incorporate youth presidents of all the villages into the security, mainstream security network architecture. So if that is like, it could become a policy, fine. But if it is implemented properly, it will go a long way. A long way in.
Who best understands the locality other than the indigents, the people who reside there? They should be the ones leading with information. They should be the ones giving credible intel that the military use to dislodge these people from wherever they are hiding.
Well, let's still look at issues on security. On Weekend Trust. Weekend Trust says death of a general. This is not an interesting story at all. Death of a general. The untold story.
That'll be General Rabi.
These are men who have been trained to fight. These are men who have been trained to protect and defend the country. And we see these men being slaughtered like children. We see them going through so much torture, going through so much exposure, and having to live, to die like chickens. How can we, in a country where rules, we've had military officials, how can we assure of people's safety when such things happen?
It reminds me of a proverb I read in Olarotimi's play, that if they thought with an iron coat can be burnt, what happened to a fowl with a withered gown? If a general retired or serving will be slaughtered in that manner, will be humiliated. They are humiliating Nigeria, not that man. Not that man. That man has gone. That is a humiliation, a slap in the face of Nigeria as a, let us visualize Nigeria as a man, a human. Someone just come out from the bush and slap you, spit on your face and slap you. That's the picture created. So that man happens to be a victim of the situation, or maybe a scapegoat or whatever. It's not unfair. So it's pathetic, so sad.
Well, there are two sides to the story. We were told that he died of health complications. He had some underlying health complications, you know, and of course,
while in their hands.
Yeah, while in captivity. And we know the situation out there. It's out in the open. Mosquitoes, you sleep in the open. There's no blanket, there's nothing. And of course, you never know whatever treatment he must have been subjected to. But at the same time, whatever story is the true story, because based on what the paper says, untold story, there are two sides to a story, from the victim's perspective and the other. Now, for me, whatever the untold story is, the story we should be telling right now as Nigerians is the ravaging insecurity situation in the country. The story we should be telling right now as Nigerians is the story that insecurity is threatening our collective coexistence. Insecurity is threatening even democracy.
Our sovereignty.
Our sovereignty as a country is threatening even democracy. If we do not fight this common enemy, that's why I said before that right now, it's not just about the military.
Do we even have the democracy?
We complement the efforts, and that's for me what those Abia youths have done is something that should be commended. We are seeing videos online of people getting tired in the northern communities, and you see everybody troop out and they pick sticks, machetes and everything, and they go straight and say, we're tired of what you people are doing to us. In Zamfara State, I think it was just recently, I think Zamfara Katsina, that some elders went to negotiate with these people, to have a peace talk with these people, that, okay, fine, we're ready to cede some part of our land to you, give you something so you can have a livelihood to mutually coexist. And what happened? They were kidnapped. They were kidnapped. They did not go there to fight. They did not go there with weapons. They went there to, make peace, to see how they can coexist with these people. The intention is clear. They do not want to coexist. They want to take over. They want to dislodge people. And again, at this juncture, telling the true story of Nigerians, I must reiterate my earlier position that you do not show mercy to these people. It's hypocritical that you will say shoot at sight. It is hypocritical that you will say you do not negotiate with terrorists, and you are capturing them, reintegrating them, feeding them with our money, and then putting them back into the society. By the way, what happened with Borno State government? Those 720 terrorists that were reintegrated. That's a conversation we'll have for another day, not today.
Well, it's not just one. There are a number of other states where some terrorists are released.
The ones we have heard, the ones that are made public.
In the name of prerogative of mercy.
Prerogative of mercy is granted with conditions. Yeah. Before somebody is pardoned, you will see element of remorse. The prerogative mercy is only applied by the governor or the president, and he must have been briefed about the status of that person. You don't grant somebody mercy and then you bring them into this to do what? Continue killing the people?
Oh,
please.
Well, I don't even know if it's allowed for terrorists to be granted prerogative of mercy.
In history.
Well, we still have some issues on Saturday Punch this time around. Saturday Punch, still on insecurity. On Saturday Punch, it says, Oyo abduction inside terrorist plot to stall rescue. Over 200 fighters re-envisioned inside Oyo National Park. Captive subsequently. Attacks in northern states, others deliberate diversion strategy. This kidnapping has become more like an industry. Why is it difficult to capture terrorists in a known location as Oyo National Park?
It's a very delicate matter.
Why is that so difficult?
Security-wise, there's something called the human shield. You will use those children as shield. For every time you try to launch an onslaught against them, use those people as shield. location will not.
Because you won't be able to finish the student.
They know that they are being tracked. They know that people, the military wants to get at them. They will not be in one place.
Captain's location changed frequently.
It use that to shield themselves, especially the students. Shield themselves.
That's why they take children.
You won't want to destroy those children.
You don't want to. That's why when some people say, why don't you just get out there and, drop bombs and then fire, bring everything down. They did those children just because they wanted money for ransom. They took those children as shields.
Cover themselves.
In event that you want to come at them, they will put them in front. And then when you kill, you have blood in your hands. So it's strategic. This frequent abduction of children, whilst they go ahead to perpetrate some other heinous crimes, is strategic. So they can have a cover. They can have to not only negotiate with, but hold you, to ransom with. And that's what they're doing. So it's a very
hold your firepower, your power down.
You can't just shoot.
That is
you can't
Once
just
you want
shoot.
to fire, you can't shoot.
It's a very delicate situation. You can't just shoot.
They know what they're doing.
Well, as delicate as this issue is, how do you see any good news going forward in the coming days, as delicate as this can be?
Well, let me not be so pessimistic. Let me be optimistic. And my optimism was rooted in objectivity. The Nigerian government should be proactive. They should separate politics from governance. The problem stems from the fact that politics is not separated from governance. We treat security with politics. We play politics with development. We play politics with even our lives. If we detach politics completely, though it cannot be thoroughly detached from governance, because politics sets the pace for governance. Politics introduces governance, but they are different. Most of the things the federal government appears not to be able to do is because they have some political undertones. If I come to your house now and take on this action, even when some other time I may need something from you, and based on the fact that I have shown you some level of brutality, you could deny me this. So there are complications. That's why I say separation of politics from governance will go a long way in solving this problem.
All right, indeed. Thank you very much, Comrade Paulinus Nta, for reviewing the papers with us.
Thank you again for coming.
I appreciate
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And we'll take a break. When we return, we'll join Jokebed Moshood to tell us what's trending. Don't go away.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy to vast oil reserves of the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, a window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories that wreck the nation's hearts.
An impact in humanitarian industry.
I am so blessed. I'm very happy to be a winner of Eliza and Cruising.
Download the app and you may be the next week lucky winner.
Have been able to give you a different perspective to entertainment program. We don't only entertain you with good musicals. We celebrate Nigerians. Watch it, participate, and feel the cruising moments.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2020 Separation Bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. The headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN, a part of you.
Well, welcome back. This is the point where we are updated with what's trending in the world of social media, and our Tatafo minister, as we call her, she's on hand and ready to bring us up to speed. Good morning to Minister of Tatafo, aka Joki Moshood. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jenny.
Hi, Joki. Yeah, indeed, it's a beautiful Saturday. Here we have a bit of a confused weather. It's either it's drizzling at some point you're seeing sunshine. And you're like, what's going on here? But it's okay.
You know, there's something uncool about us this morning. Have you noticed? About our designs. The only difference is just the color. There's something uncool. Well, did we send telepathic messages?
You know, like last Saturday, then now we have
it's quite cold, but no rain yet. It's cold and clouds are dark and all. Moving on to what happened this week. This week we have news, but we're going to start off with the plane crash that happened in Texas, U.S. This happened on Wednesday night on a Texas highway near Laredo after an emergency diversion. So one person was killed, and that was one CEO of the company, and 5 people were injured on board. However, there are no people on ground who died due to the crash, just the casualties that we have so far. It's quite sad that we lost this life, and this is literally like the middle of the year, and we're having to lose lives like this. It's just sad. It's really, really, really sad. my heart goes out to all the friends and families of these people, because imagine just going on a private cruise, maybe yourself and your family or your friends, and you have a crash. It just shows the uncertainty of life and why we should make sure that we live life well. A life well lived is what anyone could actually ask for.
Well, it's a very sad news if you ask me, and safety is very essential. It's the conversation that we'll never stop having. Sometimes there are conditions beyond aviation alerts. Sometimes you could have weather switch. Maybe before they took the plane off, they must on their weather and all of that before leaving. But of course, midway to night, you could have the weather switch. I mean, you cannot 100% predict nature until an inquest is launched into this particular flight and what caused the crash. Maybe an engine failure, weather condition. We do not know what to blame it on. However, that one, whether a technical engine problem or whether to lose a life is not something that one is happy with. However, I just want to speak to something you said earlier about plane crashes. We've not really had that much this year, and I give God all the glory for that. I mean, there was a particular year, I remember very vividly, we had almost between 12 to 15 plane crashes in that year. It was really terrible. So it could have gone so far until this particular one. Thank God there wasn't much of persons on board, just one casualty. It was sad. Our hearts, goes to the
one of the most difficult things to do. No matter how old a person is, when they die, vacuum they leave behind. And looking at situations of this nature, we talk of plane crash. There are certain things that can be controlled on land, Sometimes someone can jump off a vehicle and would just sustain injuries and all of that. Some things can be controlled on land, but when it's up there, you really have almost no control around it.
You are the mercy of God.
Sincerely. And it's sad when it happens this way, because it's almost one of the easiest ways to travel and fastest route to travel. But we're praying that whatever needs to be done, humanly possible to prevent occurrences of this nature should be seriously. This should not just be swept under carpet. I understand that there's usually investigation after every crash. I believe it should be taken seriously to avoid any occurrence any time, other moment, or with some other people want issues of this nature. And our heart goes out to the families, those who've lost their loved one in this crash. And we're praying that such things do not have to occur any other.
Oh, yes. Talking about people who have lost their lives, we also had the funeral of late Alex Ekobo in Abia State. It was a starstruck event. However, Alex lived a very life, and that's why you see people out in numbers just to celebrate him, even at his death. People understanding his need for privacy, his friends, fellow fans, everyone just pouring their hearts out to him. And there's also been some speculations that about his wife, his alleged wife and all, and people are turning the attention towards her instead of the person who we are actually mourning at this point. Social media handlers doing anything just for clicks. The ones making some outrageous claims about the woman and all of that. It's quite devastating that this is happening at this particular time. But Alex was a good man, and he died a great man.
Yeah, it's a very sad one. I saw videos of his burial, and I saw the wife that had a face mask on, giving her last husband. It was a very sad one. Odd when I sat. It speaks to the fleeting nature of life. No matter what you are, no matter who you are, no matter what you've accomplished, when death comes knocking on the door, it comes unannounced. You can have the best doctors, you can have the best medical treatment, you can have access to the best things of life, but when it is time, and nobody can stop that. Alex's death is one that has left a big blow in Nollywood, and it's made people reflect about life. When you have the opportunity to be alive, live every day purposefully, live every day intentionally. It might be your last. Nobody knows when it will happen. It's a sad loss. We grieve with Nollywood, we grieve with the family, and we grieve with friends of his. It's a sad one. The dead should be allowed to rest. For those people who are making a fuss out of his burial and assuming things. I've also seen a few things, assumption, especially about the wife, and people who just want social media trends. For me, the dead should be allowed to rest. Sex is no more. Whether the woman is wife or not wife, or whether she did this, do that, what she wore, didn't wear, whether she's acting or not, all those conversations are not necessary. Someone is dead. Let's allow the dead rest. Thank you.
I know a number of persons had seen the broken engagement of Alex Okubo when that happened, and there was so much of backlash when on his side, and so getting to hear of an alleged wedding to a wife, you should understand.
The family, they have confirmed that he was married.
Now,
so I'm putting this alleged again. If
okay.
the family confirmed that there was a wedding, it was not the big one he had planned. The one we knew was the engagement with the person that everybody thought of, and cut that one off.
And if such things had happened and someone decided to have a quiet wedding, you should understand that they are not interested in your public view or your opinion on what goes on in their relationship. It is totally theirs to decide on what to do, how to do, and when to. It is their decision, and so it's none of your business. So getting to talk of someone talking of, oh, why should he be having, oh, he was even married, is that the topic of discussion? You are discussing someone who passed on at an early age. That is what you're looking at. And this is someone who has had impact on people's lives. This is someone who has been in the movie industry, making name for himself, his family. This is someone who is supporting people. And such life gets caught. And rather than look at the vacuum that has been created in the family, you're looking at the wife he married and didn't tell you about. That's nonsense at all. And if we're looking at the burial, stay focused on how you can support the family, how you can be of emotional support, especially in times of this nature. Let's forget some of the trends and chasing clouds in the name of content. It doesn't make sense in any way.
I say this, that's why I am not so much a media person. And I say this without regret. I do not live my life for validation. I may be known, I may be popular, but people who know me will tell you, you rarely see videos of me, you rarely see me do, maybe occasionally just come and post my pictures and all of that. But where am I going with this? People who live their life every day on media, I'm sorry to say with all due respect, this is what happens. Because it's like content. Everything is a content. And the crave, the consumption of content has taken center stage. And so if you do everything now, anything you do is regarded as a content. But of course, there is a limit to where consumption, you draw that line. Well, someone who's dead. And so for the people who are looking for clout, who wants to post a very controversial statement so they can get more reactions and, of course, get more followers from that, I think such people should just be to retreat. Let's know where to draw the line. The man is gone. Let's allow the family grieve.
Exactly. Well, talking about content, it leads us to our last but not the least story surrounding an NYC co-member whose videos have sparked conversation on social media. Now, these videos include children that he teach. Right. So on X, formerly Twitter, the netizens that are out there, they've said that why would he be posting the children? I hope that the parents actually know that the children are out there on social media. It's quite disheartening because this started off as very fun moments. So him and the students, they all have some fun and all of that in class. everything. I want to believe it's after the lectures and stuff. Now, happening that he posted a video where he went out with said child, one of the children out there. He went out with her and he bought her some stuff. You know how to have fun, and she was playing the videos as always. But now it has turned into a social media propaganda that why would you allow someone, a male teacher, be a female student? It's even trying to, some people are even trying to make it sound like he is with a minor without any supervision at all. Well, some people have also come on social media to say that she has her parents whenever these videos are made and all of that, but we cannot actually tell for certain. However, when it comes to social media, people have lots of things to say. What are their authors? Something so harmless right now has turned into something else.
Well, for me, when we talk about social media, I think we should be talking about laws. In some countries, you cannot just take a picture, have a video of somebody whose consent you have not sought, and then you post that person's picture or video. There was a particular, I think you brought attention to a lady who took pictures of the stadium and had to put an emoji to cover the other people's face, because of course there are laws in that land. You can't post my picture or have me in your video without my consent. And this is where social media regulation comes in. I do not blame people, because I mean everything on social media has been monetized. Everyone is looking to get as much clicks as possible to earn a few dollars. Okay, so everything is now content, because money to be made. If you get as much views as possible, Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg might just roll in a few dollars into your account. But here's where I'm going with it. We need strict social media rules, regulation. There are people who just go out every day recording people without their consent. There are people who take pictures of other persons and they post it. You get to see your picture online and you wonder who took it. And the conversation around that picture ensues. And so we need strong laws, okay, so that people don't just get out there and snap pictures and do videos of people without asking their permission, and just because you're going to be getting money from Uncle Zuckerberg or even Elon Musk, and then you just do. We need strong
Elon
laws.
is now a trillionaire, though.
Sorry?
Elon is now a trillionaire.
Yeah. They have plenty of money to share. They want to get a piece of it.
Well, I don't know what to make of the discussion on social media, but I'll first begin with the school authority. And for every school, there should be some level of control. There should be some level of guidance. Yeah, I understand the teacher is trying to make content, but at the same time, these are minors, and these children are in his custody for reasons. And while they understand that you should be looking out, ensuring that they are safe, not exposing them. You can make your video content, blur faces. These are kids, these are minors. They've not granted you content. Yes, they might agree, it's fun for children, but
the parents,
they are minors and cannot make decisions on their own. You should have their parents' permission to do whatever you want. Even with that, you still have to. This is an era where we're talking of security. Yeah. And so many parents, when they send their children to school, do everything possible not to even if they post those children online, they avoid their uniforms being online because they could be tracked. Yeah. Those children could be tracked to those schools and picked up one way or the other. So you also have to be careful not to be linked to such criminal activity. And for a girl child, even if the parents give you consent, even if they agree, oh yes, you're helping out their child, and you need to be extremely careful. That child may not even understand the emotions that could ensue, and oh yeah, you might have the control of your own emotions, but that is a child, and you're introducing something out of the ordinary to that child. So you should be careful. Such gestures go through the parents. Send them money. Let them buy for their child. and not you taking the girl. These are opposite sex, and so we have to be very careful.
And you
with
also
how they're
want
being
to be
handled.
careful not to allow Nigerians insinuate.
Exactly.
I mean, people insinuate easily, so you do not want to put yourself in a very precarious situation where people begin to make insinuations about what may not necessarily be your intention. Rather, you careful. You know, people should be very careful.
Indeed.
Honestly, I believe so. And also, we should not even forget that he's a co-member. So after 1 year, he's going to leave this. What happens with the child? He's going to be making videos again and all of that. It's just a whole lot. Well, that's all I have for you for what's been trending so far this week. I hope to bring you exciting news next week.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joki.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
And we're looking forward to next week's stories and Tatafo issues.
Yeah, well, hopefully next week we'll have good stories. But of course, speaking to the issue of the social media regulation is very important. I recall the last time in the last administration when they spoke about the issue of social media regulation, a lot of people thought they wanted a gag.
Well,
prevent them from being expressive.
Well, we can't tell. Those are different angles.
Yeah, but then people should be guided about their actions. Okay, especially in this
a number
era
of countries now have begun adopting no social media mindset. A number of countries that are adopting that across platforms.
Yeah.
Once, if you're not up to 18, you're not allowed on social media.
Of course, it's a terrible thing. The craze around social media, even parents should, teach their children. I know that people want to earn money now that Elon is a trillionaire. They want to get their piece from him. And of course, Mark Zuckerberg's wealth is growing. They also want to get their share as well. But it's important that safety must always be considered, especially in this period of insecurity. You don't want to take chances. You don't want to overexpose your family, all in the name of content and clout chasing. Well, when we return, the conversation will be on Ekiti elections. As they go to the polls today, Ekiti decides where will the pendulum swing to? Who wins this one? That's not for us to decide. That's not for us to talk about. I'll talk about the electioneering processes, the electoral process and everything, and ensure that the election goes as smooth as possible. We'll have that for you in a bit. Stay tuned.
The necessary arrangement for this, and election is a cycle, and when you finish one, so we have been preparing for the past 4 years, and it's just this time now is the climax of the whole thing. Yesterday, we have distributed non-sensitive material a long time ago, but yesterday we went to the central bank to collect the material, and it has been distributed to the government area. And this afternoon, we are going to set up the RAC center at 12 o'clock. And from there, all the officers, SPO, all the officers that are supposed to work at REC, they must be there by 6, including the polling presiding officers, assistant presiding officers, and the RAC-Tech people. So all of them will be there. Then from there, 6 o'clock tomorrow, people will start moving to their polling units. And we plan to have the polling units set up latest by 8 o'clock. So that people can start coming to vote by 8:30.
Today, where we are going to start escorting those materials again from the local government headquarters to the RAC. Those materials will have heavily armed police escort. Police escort will also, or police armed guard, will also in those materials as well as the INEC staff and the ad hoc staff, and very early tomorrow, those materials will be distributed under police escort to all the units in the Ekiti State. That will start very early in the morning, so that all polling units, in collaboration with INEC, we want all polling units to be set up as early as 6:37. To be ready for voting, so that broadcast will commence at 8:30, which is the stipulated time. Now, coming to the security framework that has been provided for this election. You know, in the police, we have operational plan, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Rilwan Disu, PSC Daga, NPM, approved an operation order for the conduct of police activities for this election. And that operational order is centered on a framework, which is the multi-layered security approach. You know, we did the threat analysis before the election, having identified the different elements, factors, indices in Ekiti State. We came up with this operational order with a foundation on the multi-layered security framework. So this is a multi-layered security approach.
Surely, the Commission is committed to deploying technology and ensuring transparency throughout the exercise. Measures have been put in place to ensure that the CVR is inclusive, accessible, and in compliance with the laws and guidelines.
I want to tell you that in NOA we are fully prepared and we're ready to synergize with INEC in Ekiti State, to make sure that the CVR exercise went smoothly and fine and without any hitch. So our officers henceforth, by going out to ties the people of Ekiti, especially at the grassroots, for them to enhance and register, and as much as many of their cards dead or not, is another opportunity for them to come out.
Started that, we are mobilizing across the 16 local government in the state and 177 wards. I can assure you that people will turn out en masse, particularly those who have attained the age of 18. They will have this singular opportunity of voting for their governor for the first time.
The security approach we have on ground, I'm confident that this election will be violence-free, and this election will be concluded without any serious security breach. The likely things that might cause city issues have already been taken care of. Police officers and security agencies involved in this election, they have instruction to prioritize requests, information, comments from journalists on the field regarding their operations. But generally, we have adequate security for everyone, including the voters.
Of course, you've just seen a few clips there to tell you about the situation in Ekiti as we speak. As at the last time, our correspondent gave us update there. People were already queued and ready to cast their vote. He did bring up it as well with the security situation and the manner in which things are going. So, yeah, with all that we know at the moment, we can tell you that the process is hitch-free. Based on the report from our correspondent. However, we will also be linking up with our correspondent to find out if the voting has started. So we will with him as soon as we have that. But Jennifer, for a moment, let's talk about Ekiti State, the elections there. One thing that I know will happen today is there will be a winner.
Indeed.
That's
That's standard. There will be a winner, and we can also get some visuals coming in from Ekiti, some of the polling units on activities already. And I'm sure by now voting has commenced. You can see your screen what's going on in some of these polling units. This is Ekiti, and it's a lovely place indeed. And today,
security situation.
Today you'd see what I can do, and as all have been talking about, we head towards the 27 election. Also, another test for INEC's credibility and independence in the electoral process, and so we're looking out to see what's happening in everyone.
Definitely, this will also provide INEC the opportunity to build confidence. Every election provides INEC the opportunity to reassert itself. One of the biggest conversation about INEC has been the issue of autonomy. People have been talking about influences, you know, from certain persons, certain political party, or party. This kind of action provides INEC the opportunity to either them wrong or prove them right.
And to look at the situation in Ekiti is clear, because they have just a little over 1 million registered voters, and in 16 local government areas, and we have 177 wards with approximately 2,445 polling units statewide. So this election it's really going to be a test, because it's like a case study area, and so that the technology is deployed. Remember the previous budgetary allocation, they were talking deploying technology when it comes to election period. So we'll be all of happening in the election today, and also look at timeliness of INEC officials. We heard from our correspondent.
They can put it early. And
also we'd get to look at availability of election materials, because these are responses we're getting from a correspondent as a secret agent in different polling units. The accessibility of materials even to persons with disability, because we're looking at issues of inclusion. Yeah. And so we need to look at the steps INEC has taken to ensure that there is inclusion in voting. That we'll be looking at, and also turnout in different areas, the urban areas and rural areas. We need to look at the turnout of people. And while with that, we also look at demographic participation, women and youth. And so, like I mentioned, respondents are on ground, and this time around we'll be speaking with Favor Osazua to tell us what's going on in her polling unit.
Good morning to you,
good morning.
Good morning, Speaker.
Yeah, can you tell us specifically where you are and what is going on right now? We understand people are queuing, but are they queuing for accreditation or voting has to be?
Okay, we are right here in Ekiti. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go on.
Perfectly, we can.
Okay, we're right here in Ekiti, in Kegosu.
Queuing for accreditation, voting has gone.
Has been very peaceful, and the Beavers machine has been functioning without any delay for any process. The accreditation and the voting has been going on smoothly. We have various observers present here from the EFCC. We have the NAN. We have the Bar Association of Nigeria, and all of the other press observers. They are all here, and everything is very smoothly over. Please, can you take that again?
Has voting started, or are they still in the process of accreditation?
So the process here is, once you get accredited, you get to vote. So it's not like we're doing it one after the other. So it's like first table, the second table, and then you do the next thing and you're out of the premises.
Your perspective or from what you're seeing on ground, what does it turn out? What you're seeing on ground, what is the turnout like?
Is safe, I would say. Even when we got here as early as 6:51, met voters who are already checking the register to show and then they were ready. Someone here, a guest, who is willing to speak with us.
Go ahead. Let's speak with the
Chief Oliver Njula today.
All right, hi, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Your life, but
Yeah.
that's okay. So, sir, being here, and how do you see the process of the election?
The process is lovely, and it's expected to be peaceful because it has been peaceful since morning. So we expect it to be peaceful.
The application that you witnessed, how was it?
Yeah, it was because they did the action and the voting at the same time. If you are being accredited, you go there, tell them your number, look at it, and you vote straight away. So it's not that it's separate. So it's the same time. Credit yourself, then you vote. It's okay. It makes it more fun.
So you've witnessed more elections in this town. So what's your take? The previous election and now, what are the slight difference, or is it a repetition of the previous one?
Yeah, the difference I can see is that the previous election was very rowdy. Maybe because the first time of the present governor and the other opponents ever came for votes. So it was so rowdy that everybody was fighting here and there, to look for votes. But right now, it was peaceful. It's like there's no opposition, everybody just line up and no argument. So it's more peaceful than the former one.
So, sir, what can you tell us about the security presence here?
Yeah, I can see a lot of security persons. They are watching everything that is going on, and I don't think there is no cause for alarm for them to, rough-handle anybody or something like that. Everybody is fine, and they are fine. They are watching and looking at everything.
So what would you say about the turnout, sir?
Yeah, the turnout is, there are lots of people that came out to vote.
Is it something that should be of concern to you, the issue of vote buying? Is it something you've witnessed before? And do you think it's something we should work about in this for example?
Vote buying, I don't see anything of that here because looking at every people here, I only see one person. I've not witnessed any impact, So I'm not worried about that because I know it will not happen here. It will not happen.
Why do you think it will not happen here?
Because the security and everybody loves the governor, this is his hometown, and they are not expecting him to give them anything before they love him. They are always there for him.
We want to commend all the agencies involved in this election, to INEC, to observers, and the rest. Who will you want to commend in order of priority?
I would say number one, the security personnel. Number two, the journalists that are here, because the camera sees everything. You know, even the person that is holding it doesn't see that time. The camera can capture, you know, what is going on. So it's a very good thing, and I can see a lot of journalists here that are, you know, taking pictures, taking videos, and the like. So it's a very good something, and if it can continue like that.
From our correspondent in the field, we've heard what's going on. First, it was a commendation on the early arrival of INEC officials and early distribution of electoral materials. And now we're talking of turnout, which is, in view, it's good enough. And but from the election, especially in building confidence in INEC ahead of the 2027 election.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Let me say this. Ekiti election presents an opportunity for INEC to show its level of readiness for 2027. Expectations are high. Over time, I've had situations where voters are playing in Nigeria. So, particularly young voters, those who have just turned 18 or who have just turned 18 and are preparing to go to polls for the first time in Nigeria, Ekiti presents an opportunity for INEC to show that they can do it, that they can come of age, and that they can perform better, they can improve on what in the past. So, even from the participants, not just the electorate, the politicians themselves, the stakeholders, the security personnel, it is an opportunity for them to also convince Nigerians that we have come, I believe so, I think so, that they have come of age and that things can be done better than we have had experience in time past.
But should we do so as it's credible?
For me, voters' turnout will be should be looked out for. Over time, we have had situations where many prospective voters just dismiss election in Nigeria, let them do their thing. That's that kind of pressure. If I don't vote, whoever will elect, will elect. Even if I don't vote, let me know who will do that. So let us see the level of turnout of voters. So let us see how peaceful it will be. Nigeria, I think we've gradually moved away from the area where ballot boxes were being snatched. I think in the last see what will happen. Let us believe that the issue of money, vote buying, will reduce, and that voters will feel safe to go out and vote. To a large extent affects what Nigerians should expect. If they are safe, and the confidence is there that we voted for A, and when the result came out, A was, I mean, it reflected the wishes of the people. I think to a large extent, Nigerians will be more confident moving into 2027. And do I believe in INEC? I think I do.
You do?
I think I do.
Now,
I should be tempted to.
Okay, well, you're a lawyer, so you know how to use your words guidedly. When we talk about this election, one aspect is very fundamental to this conversation. Is INEC under any whatsoever to prove a point with Ekiti election?
If INEC allows itself to come under pressure, I think that would be bad system. Nobody, ordinarily, no man is at his best when he is under pressure. When one is under pressure, one will be if I am Z, or let me say Z wins, or Z is the winner, I expect A to Y to complain. The only person who wouldn't complain in Nigeria would be Z. Now, if A should be the one to win, then should be the one declared. Then we expect B to Z. So INEC shouldn't allow itself to be under pressure. The law is there that dictates its responsibilities. It should guide itself and just discharge its duties as outlined by law. It should be guided by law, not.
So you're by your analysis saying that INEC is not under or shouldn't be under any pressure
it shouldn't allow
to try and prove a point, because of course INEC has been heavily criticized, and you're aware, especially with recent court rulings and all of that, all that we've seen happening in the past months involving INEC's credibility, and so they will be under again today with the Ekiti election.
See, in this country, even if we should go to space to get someone who is not a human, someone who is not a human to come and help me, the system will still be there. But the important thing is that the law are there. INEC should be guided by law. Currently, the attitude of I must win. Election shouldn't be seen as
do or die.
Do or die. It should be okay. Let me step up. If the people want me, they'll give me the mandate. We should. Not individual. But the ultimate decision should be allowed to be taken by the people. It is the mandate of the people, and the people should be allowed to hand over to whoever they want. There's nothing wrong.
There's something else, that's the issue of vote now has been euphemised. Now say voter appreciation. and want to understand the law. Has it made sufficient provision for deterrence?
Vote buying has never been, it has never. But the have been having as has been this, our security agencies having the board do their duties. Why do you come to me? Because I have stepped out to cast my vote. So what happened to me before? I mean, all these days, in the last 4 years, you've not thought of appreciating me. It is today you want to come and appreciate me. And for you to appreciate me, you need to know who I'm casting my vote for. It is, that's for the man or for the woman, making himself available to be the tool to buy food. And do for the one out there willing to sell his vote. How much would you be given? 10,000? Let me give them to 10,000, 1,000, 5,000. Now, after today, I'm still imagining how the distance in Nigeria today, that 10,000 can be used as transport fare to and fro. So after doing that for that day, what happens to the remaining 365 days of 3 years, 4 years? Just take out today. What happens for the remaining 4 years? It is too low. No human being should make it come that low that he can sell his conscience for a token.
Let's talk about for me.
The laws are there. It is unlawful to buy and to sell vote in Nigeria. But we need to see where our law enforcement, the agencies,
making arrests,
will make arrests. If in a street, let us say in a polling unit, people are arrested and prosecuted, the buyers and the sellers, others would, if that is done, say in you are going. Remember what happened at the FCT. When you go there, cast your vote.
Now leave.
And buy and watch. Do not go and do not sell your vote. Do not collect anything from anybody. Anybody who wants to appreciate you should have appreciated you before today. And there are still many days ahead.
To be appreciated. Not an election day. Okay, Prof. If we look at the political space lately, with all the problems that political parties have been having, one would conclude that it's not going to be a very tough contest per se. I mean, you look at the opposition political parties, a couple of them are already having issues, and they do not have order. One political party seems to have the advantage as we speak, and also the power of incumbency. Do you think this will play in this election when we talk about incumbents and the oppositions who are already scrambling for attention?
Thank you. Let me say this. When we talk about power of incumbency, what do we really mean? That's the power of those who are occupying elective positions. Whose mandate? How did they get there? We give them a mandate. They are there because we want them there. And if we go to a point that if we make up our minds that we don't want them there again, the mandate is ours. The mandate is the people. And the people can decide. But the major problem we are having is that we do not have, is with the opposition parties. Have one election cycle in Nigeria. everybody just goes to sleep. In the last election, general election, there was this something that looked like a movement. And people really thought it was a movement. After that election, what happened? Were those people were involved able to galvanize that movement? Election should not just be about winning, being declared today. There are many other elections coming. After that, everybody, they all went to sleep. They are stupid enough to come to rally around like they did before. The problem with the opposition parties is in Nigeria is a reflection on the type of politicians that we have. Many Nigerians politicians see political parties as a mere platform to step on to grab power. And as soon as that is done, they can do away with the platform. And it doesn't matter whether the platform has an ideology or not, which is why it is possible for them to move within 1 week. They can move from three political parties. Three political parties. It shows the lack of ideology. Now, what is the problem? What is politicians should be people who are out.
Well,
every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. ADBN. A part of you.
Who is in support of the incumbent? Now, there are other persons who have come out in that state to also challenge that position of that who parades himself as the leader of the party in that state. So the opposition political party, which at some point in the history of Nigeria held sway. Even this person who is the leader of the party that was paraded in that rally used to be a governor himself on a platform of a political party. Now, the opposition in that state, as we speak, they're in disarray. The political parties were making new entrants, looking to make inroads, looking to announce themselves in this election. I'm still asking the same question. With this happening around politicals, especially from the opposition front, where they are on, so will this be an easy cruise for the incumbent, his party?
You talk about, you started raising of but that what we call that depends on the people. If that power could be there and the people can stand up and say, we want this.
It's rare. It's rare.
It's possible.
It's rare.
What we call today, what we call as a ruling party in this country, was at a point party.
Yes.
And if it was possible for an opposition party there to dislodge a ruling party, that possibility not gone into extinction. It is still possible. But the problem is with those who have gathered themselves as opposition party. it is, let me say this. What we call problems in the opposition parties are problems that will always be there. They will always be there. They will always be with people, apart from somebody belonging to a political party, that person also has right to support a candidate, any other candidate. He also has right. That is right cannot be taken away. And that right does not affect the right of other people within the opposition party to project their candidate. Now the question is, how much interaction has been put in place
by the
or have
opposition?
we seen by the opposition? Opposition parties in Nigeria have, to my mind, have spent most of their time fighting internally than trying to engage the electorate. So at what point would they be internal
wrangling
and now go to engage what do you call it, the electorate? The electorate should be the ultimate decider in an electoral contest, and not just who is the leader of a party, who is not the leader of a party. At the end of the day, it is the people that will go to vote.
Well, and even while the people go to vote, there's about if an election of this nature can be said to be on a level playing ground, especially when one of the candidates is already in control of government machinery.
Which is what I talked about, the power of incumbency, bringing it to play.
Yeah, still on the power of incumbency. That person who is already in office is not the one that controls the umpire. It doesn't have any right role to play. It is not the one that controls the security apparatus in the state. Those people don't take instructions from him. Today, it will not the security apparatus. But now, let me say this. If we had a strong opposition in this country, at the federal level, the opposition leaders would at all times, their eyes would be on the president, to watch the movement of the president, to watch and analyze everything the president does. And the same thing will be in the state, will play out in the states. The opposition, to my mind, is not all about it's not all about criticizing. Which sides to be able to tell us what could have been better. Opposition should add value to the system. This action taken by the president is wrong. We feel this as Nigerians negatively. Government would have done this. We hardly see that in the country. We want to see, you don't criticize from Monday to Sunday. No, when you criticize, there's nothing wrong with criticizing. When you criticize, you should get a solution. The government should consider that what you have preferred as solution and see if it can work. If it works, it is the people. It's for the benefit of the people. Not telling us, no, I don't want to, let me keep it. I don't want my opponent to steal it.
So then where should we draw the line between some legitimate advantages and also some abuse of state resources for electoral gain?
That is where we have us in a system where money does a lot of things. I think some time ago we heard people say what money cannot do, more money can do, and that is very low. But it still boils down to people. It still boils down to the people. I know for campaigns money is needed, but beyond using money for campaign, if a particular political party is using money in a way that it's against the law, the electoral laws, the opposition, the other may not use whichever. The other parties in the race, they should be able to bring that up, to tell Nigerians and draw the attention of security agencies to it. This political party is respecting the law. But what we have here, we have a system where the man who has the vote is using it to his advantage. The others who are trying to take part from him are struggling to use the little they have to do the same thing. And when they fail to use money and swing the result in their favor, now come to the one day. Let it be that one has made up his mind, we will do this. And they are now watching and telling us what this party is doing. But you get there, you realize that almost almost all of them are trying to do the same thing. And the people that come to shout only come to shout because outplayed.
Now let's look at recent political developments in the country. We see that in your analysis, you've also talked about the fact that we do not have effective opposition as we used to have before. With the advantage going to the ruling party and the numbers in their favor, you suppose the opposition may not be able to cause any upset in this election or in elections to come, because of course everything seems to be in their advantage.
I want to think that it is to conclude. The people of Ekiti are there.
Well, if the incumbent has done well, everything stands to his advantage.
If the incumbent has done well, it's for them to make the pronouncement by casting their votes to a direction. If the incumbent has not also done well, it is also on them to take their decision to a direction. At the end of the day, well, only that when somebody in a political office in Nigeria is said to have done well, a lot of things, that statement is pregnant with meaning. The classroom, when a student says, this teacher is good, it could be because his marking scheme
favors it.
It was there. When they say this one is deep, this one is hard, it could also be that they should go by the rules. So, but then, if the incumbent has done well, it is Ekiti people that will tell us what would the outcome of today's election. If they have not, the Ekiti people will also tell us. But let us not deceive ourselves that election is over before it begins. I don't think so. In fact, until the last result is placed, surprisingly,
you don't see advantages incumbents may have, especially a party is in power, and of course some of the factors which you talk about place the advantage. You don't think that is strong enough to foreclose the possibility of upsets?
I think Ekiti people are also very literate. Ekiti people are also very literate. And a literate mind can the chances of a literate being influenced by minor things low. So at the end of the day, it may appear as if the incumbent has advantage. But we've seen in this country where the incumbent was disappointed at the end of the day. And I believe if people have to take the decision based on what is before them.
Oh, okay, and from the papers and even from clips we've gotten from our correspondents on field, we've seen deployment of security operatives, and some of the papers had mentioned that in fact there had been tactical assets is this just bringing some form of security, or this could lead to some voter intimidation?
Can we, security agencies, are they not stakeholders? The process, they are. They are. Now, the way this country is today, the way it is today, security-wise, if we do not have security on the street today in Ekiti, we will not complain. You know the answer. Now, if we have them, should we complain? I think, and they are not just there. They have a protocol. We should hope that that security protocol for this election will be followed. But if I were in Ekiti today and I were to cast my vote, I think I'll be more confident if I see security personnel.
But of course, there's been the complaint of a state being over-militarized, that election is not war, and when you have that heavy deployment in the place, it may have a psychological implication on the people, so that even if they are not directly intimidated, they may feel intimidated by the heavy presence of security, and that may deter some of them from voting.
Let me say this. I was in an institution outside mine yesterday for a program. I found late. And one of the things I noticed, that area, they have a higher institution, they have secondary, primary school. And one of the things I noticed was the absence of security personnel
in that area.
At the time I was returning home. I'm just saying that is an institution. And I intend to get the attention of the state commissioner of police to something like that. Because considering the location of those institutions, leaving those institutions like that at that time of the day without, I didn't see any. That is just schools we are talking about. We are talking about election. And these people, like I said, they are not to harass voters. If someone whose reason objective is to cast his vote and go with or stays back to what proceedings does that, why he has no reason in my mind to be weary that security personnel are there. It is to build confidence. It is to build confidence. And I'm saying it. If they are not there, will we not complain? We'll complain.
Yeah, but you don't want too much of those people out there. They leave a psychological impression on the minds of people. Because, of course, we'll say this again, over and over, election is not war.
Anyone who does not have a criminal intention has no problem with the number of security personnel around its seats. He doesn't. I think the security personnel are doing their work. They are guided by their protocols, and they keep what they should do. Why should it bother anybody? Now, at the end of the day, sir, if we hear that ballot box, I'm just saying it, was snatched any polling unit, would we not ask where were the security operatives? Would we not say that? We would. So it is, leadership in Nigeria is a very difficult thing. Leader does this, the people will complain. Don't blame me. If listen to the complaint to take any action, we'll still complain when something happens. Remember that for the students, the adoptions we've had in schools, we have complained. Where were the security? Now, security operatives were sent to schools. Would we not say that we are militarizing schools? I am just thinking. So, they do not
There's elections. There's usually another aspect, and that's the post-election litigation, which has also gained so much discussion in different spheres. And it's a bit concerning that a number of times after elections, we're always ready for litigations. It usually comes forth. Should we not be concerned that a number of times we're still having to talk of litigations after an election which a number of persons would call credible has been conducted?
The litigation is part of the electoral process, I think, the world over. And in Nigeria, it plays a prominent role. For me, if we have an election, say like Ekiti today, and at the end of the day, let us say 15 political parties participated, and at the end of the day, people planted, people in took over the opposition parties, and they planted their stooge. Those people that contested their stooge. That is why they've not. People will feel aggrieved. They will be aggrieved participants, and the law has provided that opening for aggrieved participants to ventilate their grievance or grievances as it may be. So it is also lawful. And the National Assembly has done well. Lines to the process now, not an open-ended process as it used to be before. I think progress. So there should be, out of 15, assuming one will be declared winner. 2 can say, okay, I give my best. The people are so good. The rest will also be able to say, okay, there is a window. Let us try that window. And we have cases in this country where the person who was did not end up being the winner. The court,
that's the law took it court. Yeah, that's the court.
So.
All right, and as much as we're monitoring Ekiti, there are also elections going in different other locations, and for Tai local government area, we understand that election personnel and materials have been deployed to the Super Rec Center. We've also had deployment to Kuruma and Tai local government area, and also to various polling units for the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District election. And of course, we've also gotten feedback government is progressing as commence final phase of preparations to ensure the timely opening of polls. That's for Rivers State. We've also had responses from Akwanga local government area in Nasarawa State. We're also following updates in these areas and getting updates on how the elections are going in those parts, and also bringing you updates on EDBN. And so we'll also bring you some social media reactions with regards to the election in Ekiti State and some of these responses we've gathered from platforms. This is Olabimpe says, election polls open, INEC officials setting up, praying for peaceful, credible process. No violence, no, let the will of the people prevail. Amen. That's what we are praying for. And Nedu Lydia says, my governor, Abiodun Onyebanji, has done well. Roads, schools, infrastructure. They will reward performance with re-election. A sweep incoming. Ekiti knows quality. Well, the election, we'll see what happens in the election. It's not for you to decide on social media. Yeah. We also have from Adeife says, Wale Oluyede is the real deal. Well, we can't even talk of that.
They're complaining for the different...
We can't, we can't talk of that because the field will decide. Whoever qualified, the election, the voters will decide. Tolu says he has voted in Ado-Ekiti. Beavers worked fine, but some polling setting up late. NYC core members, they try to, may God protect everyone. Yes, and so many times we do not even appreciate the core members who are being deployed to different units. And Coconut Head says APC people throwing bread from campaign buses. Well, we can't even talk of that. Where is, this is the height of poverty. I don't think this is for, this is, yes. And like we've mentioned, some of these allegations, your evidence, and election is not it, or voting day is not the day to campaign.
Now, let me ask. If that is something that is done, is alleged to have been to influence voters, what are they telling us that security are not there? Are they telling us that security personnel are not there? Remember what I told you. When schools, if we have security personnel within schools, we complain. When we don't have them, when things happen, we complain. Let the personnel.
Aspect of this conversation we must also is based on reports and updates that we haven't had any report whatsoever, at least not that I know of voter apathy. Can we say that Ekiti provides a template for voter turnout, especially the concerns of apathy not playing out in this election?
I think it would be too hasty to use Ekiti. Remember, they call that Ekiti is a state. The people there are very literate. There's high level of literacy there. So things may be done differently. We cannot use Ekiti and maybe place a state like Borno or Jigawa, but maybe Akwa Ibom too, on the same scale. We can't. But what happens in Ekiti will have a way of influencing what happens in these other states. Because when people sit back and see the electorate in Ekiti going out, en masse. I'm usually careful to use that word because of politics.
Yeah, but there hasn't been any voter apathy so far. From the videos and all the updates we've seen, people turn out en masse.
When we were growing up there, that's when we used to see people going out, voters going out en masse to go and queue. You remember back then where voters had to line queue behind. I don't know if you were sure. I don't know if you were.
I was.
I don't know there. So, but today, now, if people sit back at home in other parts of the country, and I'm here, that Ekiti people went out and voted, their vote counted, they'll be encouraged. It will have a way of affecting them, building confidence in the process. To that extent. But we shouldn't use the fact that when people come to the Ekiti, they'll go out in other states. That confidence needs.
The sports crew is already looking around, so before we let you go, I'm placing too much.
I don't think we are. It is expected. The umpire has a bigger, to launch a bigger masquerade some months from now. And today, there is an opportunity for him to present a smaller masquerade at the market, at the village square. So the people are out. Some people will not just come out. They will stay in their houses, and through their windows, they want to see how beautiful the dance step of this expectation of what should happen. It's also to see this. Remember that from the last general election and 2020, button at the leadership button has changed hands at INEC. So let us, we are at the village square today. Let us see the dance step of the smaller masquerade that we can both expect
from the
bigger one out.
The masquerade.
What a one way to draw. Thank you very much, Professor Etefe Kanem, for sitting with us and sharing insight.
I'm happy you got my name correct.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's the much we can at this point. Definitely, as we proceed, we'll bring you updates. Our correspondent is still on ground, but for now, we'll switch gears and talk sports. Stay tuned.